Herbie Derby.
Let me know when. Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Wilson, Burnett County Judge. I call our Burnett County Commissioners Court special meeting to order. Today is Monday, July 27th, 2026. The time is now 9:01 a.m. We are meeting in the AgriLife Auditorium at 607 Vanderveer Street, Burnett, Texas. I call agenda item number 2. I'll begin this meeting with prayer. Please join me in prayer, and then we'll join me in the pledges to our nation's flag and the Texas flag. Heavenly Father, please be with us today. Give us wisdom. Can't do anything on our own that apart from your grace that is any good. So please help us to stand strong and be wise in everything we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Texas flag?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, I call agenda item number 3, public comments pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.007 and the Burnett County Commissioners' Rules of Decorum. Any person may make a comment on any item not appearing on the agenda. Any comment made will not be addressed by the Commissioners' Court during the public comments agenda item. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Does anybody wish to make a public comment for an item not appearing on the agenda? Okay. Close public comment. I call agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the purchase of a meeting room pod in the Herman Brown Library, Free Library, with the Texas State Library and Archives Commission LIFT grant, funds in the amount not to exceed $42,495.25. This item was passed on 7/20 with the intent of bringing the lowest bidder to speak to the court today. The auditor's office clarified that these are quotes, not bids. Per Burnett County purchasing policy, if a department does not want the lowest quote, then the Commissioners Court needs to approve which quote to purchase. Commissioners Court does not need to offer the opportunity for the lowest quote vendor to come in. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay. I close public comment.
Judge, I'd like to lay it out just real simple. The reason we won't be selecting the lowest one is because the lowest one doesn't include all of the specs requested by the library. So the middle quote, I believe it's the middle quote that does. And so it's well within the grant funding and approval from the grant side of things. So it gives them exactly what they need at the lowest price. I move for approval.
Is there a match?
No,
Not for this.
it is 100% grant funded.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Byerly, seconded by Commissioner Collier. Any further discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the approval of the appointment of election judges for FY 2026 and 2027 Burnett County elections. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Close public comment. Okay. The list was posted online. Do you want to say anything about the list? Okay, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm not at this. Okay, there's no public comment. Did I hear a motion to approve the list that was posted online with this agenda?
Move for approval.
Okay, Commissioner Luther has
Second.
moved. Commissioner Dockery has seconded. Oops, sorry, long. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 6, discuss and consider take appropriate action regarding the approval of out-of-state travel for Elections Administrator Stephanie Cooper to attend the 41st National Elections Conference to maintain her national certification in, it says certificate in Kansas City, Missouri, August 18th through the 23rd, in the amount not to exceed $1,500. We've been very fortunate to get not only a state certified, but a nationally certified elections administrator. So I highly recommend that we pass this. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, close public comment.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Barley has moved. Commissioner Luther has seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, take appropriate action regarding the Burnett County Budget Policy Fund Overview and Expenditure Accounts Description. Item number 7, the fleet policies limiting the number of miles permitted outside of Burnett County for all take-home vehicles. Miles currently in the policy related to recommended changes in replacement mileage for active law enforcement to 125,000 miles. I think it's at 150 now, and other law enforcement at 150. Review any other current fleet policy issues and other Burnett County policy issues. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay. I close public comment. Is there any discussion or anything you want to lay out? Go ahead, Chief.
Sir.
Good morning. Alan Trevino, Chief Deputy, Burnett County Sheriff's Office. The piece of paper I just handed you, my request is that we lower the current policy from 175, which is all department vehicles for law enforcement, the command, bailiff, investigator, transport vehicles, from 175 to 150, and that we lower all active law enforcement pursuit vehicles from 150 to 125. The sheet that I gave you are several of the surrounding counties, a couple of PDs, DPS, and that just shows that every single agency has a significantly lower amount than what we currently are at 175. And I'll give you an example of how it's detrimental. We currently have a 2020 vehicle that has 158,000 miles on it that is now on it's down again because it's out its second transmission. We've already replaced the transmission. It's at 158,000, and the expense to put another transmission into a vehicle that is over the 150, that at that point actually we would now be turning it over to a courts or to a pool car or to one of those other services, puts us in a position where this vehicle, we actually are asking for it to have a variance or to have it be able to put it on a list for replacement, because it doesn't make sense to put another transmission into it with the amount of miles that it has. My request on this also would be that something that's not listed in here, and it maybe is just our discussion on it or how we go from the sheriff's office, but we also keep a group of pool cars, and pool cars are both marked pursuit vehicles and administrative type vehicles that are unmarked. And I would ask that all of those marked patrol, anything that's considered pursuit, they are still pursuit. The purpose of a pool car is if you have an oil change or if you have a transmission that goes out and you're going to be without a car for a period of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that you have a suitable vehicle that will support you during that period. And that purpose is a pool car. It's better mileage out of it already, and so it's just a replacement vehicle. We currently have one of those that is a pull car that just went down as well because of the amount of mileage on it. And so my request is that we consider, or the court consider, taking those two pursuit vehicles amount from 150 to 125, and all other law enforcement vehicles from 175 to 150. Any questions?
How many hours are on a vehicle that's got 150,000 miles? How many run hours?
You're looking at 5,000 to 6,000 hours.
Josh Swain, he's our IT, and he handles all of our vehicles.
Just because we're recording, would you mind just repeating what he said into the mic? So, sorry.
That's all right. No, that's...
Josh Swain, Sheriff's Office. Great question. The idle hours and run hours, they range anywhere from probably 4,000 to 5,000 hours for actual run and idle. And so industry standard is about 25 miles an hour is what they average out to be. So you're looking at a 150,000 mile car. It's probably a 350 to 400,000 mile car when you look at it and you factor in all those idle hours and the run hours on our off roads, back roads, side roads of the county at different speeds. You know, we idle a lot and we drive down these roads constantly. So the suspension gets beat up, the cars get beat up, and they get tons of hours on them as well. So.
And then two other points. One is when we have, so currently it's 175. And that's for, let's say we have a car that went to 175, which we, by the way, last year we, I believe, turned in 10 cars. Out of those 10 cars that we auctioned off, one of them was running. Didn't have engines, didn't have transmissions. We had borrowed from one and put in another one to keep them running to save on expense. So those are going to come back at the minimum bid amount, and really all they're doing is breaking them apart and using them for scrap metal. And so we got basically about 2,000 for each vehicle. But out of the 10, only one was running when we auctioned it. My point is, we are running them to a point now where that vehicle, let's say the one at 158, it doesn't even go on the list yet because it hasn't got to 175. The other part I'd ask is that you consider our ability to put a vehicle on a list, a out-of-service list, and if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for us to provide you a number of this, as an example, this year we have 7 vehicles that are between the 150 and 175 that they go on a list. If we don't change anything, that we change that so that we can say these vehicles need to be replaced next year on next year's budget, because we know we're going to have them close to that 175, most of those. If we do just the opposite, I mean, if we're able to go down to 150, then we are able to maybe put them on a list to go from patrol to the other vehicles at maybe 130, 140, that we have an identified number that we can put them on a list so that we know that we're moving them from pursuit to a secondary. And then the last point I'll make is purchasing of vehicles. So we had a number of vehicles this year, and we did them in different manners. I'll talk about the ones that we don't have right now. We ordered 4 supervisor vehicles. They're trucks. We ordered them in November, and we still don't have them. And so you're talking 8 months of ordering, prepping, getting them in. They just got built last month. So all that time there's nothing we could have done about it. They just got to the upfitters. They're at the upfitters, and they should have them by the end of next month, or we should have them by the end of next month. But that's just, I just wanted to make y'all aware of the extended amount of time. There is an ability to do it. And we're working with the auditor's office on this. There is an ability to request a vehicle and an upfitter all with the same thing, all with the same vendor, which we did. The problem is the ones that we asked for were already on the ground. So Mac Hike had 10 vehicles that we needed that were on the ground, ready. All they had to do is we purchase them and they go straight to the upfitter, and we're ready within a month. The way it went was the bid went out, and the upfitters, the dealership bid on them, but the one that won the bid didn't have them on the ground. So we had to wait for those to be built. And so that's what extended it. If we're able to then, and we've changed that, so now our specs say the vehicles have to be on the ground whenever we order them. But that will significantly decrease the amount of time, but that doesn't always happen in vehicles that we're looking for.
Do you have an average on the mileage on a take-home vehicle? And what's the furthest one of those take-home vehicles go?
Oh, you mean out of county or out of?
Out of wherever. I mean, a lot of them,
You mean mileage just from the office to their home and back?
Yes.
I don't think we broke that down. I haven't.
It would vary from officer to officer.
I think the biggest concern.
What's the policy? Did you just say it?
25.
Okay.
From outside the county, from county line, 25 miles?
Calvin Boyd, Burnett County Sheriff. Our biggest concern is the pursuit vehicles. As you know, we can't usually buy cars that are on the ground. And so it's taken a year sometime to get a vehicle on the road. So we got pursuit, if we can't order one until, they're to their mileage, we're going to be another 40, 50, 60,000 miles over, our number. So we got guys in pursuit vehicles out there with a lot of miles on them. And the way we order vehicles, we can't order them until they get to the mileage. So that's our largest concern is the pursuit vehicles. But also, as the chief said, we're turning in cars that don't even run. They got transmissions in the back seat and everything else, because of the miles. We had a lot of problems with Tahoes the last couple of years with transmissions and air conditioners and lifters and all that. So that's kind of why we've gone back towards the Fords. And it's a nationwide thing. So it's hard to get parts when you have one down. So anyway, that's why we've done that. But our pursuit vehicles is at least my biggest concern, because I don't want guys out there in a dangerous vehicle. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I was liking, if you can put them on a list, how do we, so they're going to hit that 150 mark, like the year before?
If I'm looking at the policy correctly, it would need to be the Commissioner's Court that would say that pursuit vehicles, depending on what y'all determine, 125 or you keep it at 150, that pursuit vehicles would need to go on a list, a turn-in list at 130 if it's at the 150, or at 120 if it's at the 125.
So this is to buy into that time that you were talking about. I could buy into that at that time when it hit 130, then I could go ahead and place it. Right now, the purchasing policy, let's be clear.
Yes.
Is that the purchasing policy is you can't place an order to buy a new vehicle until that is 150 and 150 hard.
Well, no, not even 175.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at the
Sure.
numbers in front of me. So 175. So you have to hit that 175.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you can turn in a purchase request.
That's correct.
And so what you're talking about is if at 150, you could go ahead and knowing that it's going to take 6 to 9 months to get that vehicle, at 150, it could go on the list and the purchaser could be notified that we need to start ordering this vehicle. And then, again, I'm not really disturbed about if the vehicle gets here in 3 months and you got to, you know what I'm saying, you got to pool for a while.
That's if, in your scenario is if things stay as they are.
Yeah.
The 150, because that's when they would be going to another service, still being a used vehicle, and they would be a pursuit vehicle. And
So we need to take that example and slide it down the scale.
that's correct.
How many miles per year average do they,
25 to 30?
per car?
Yes, sir. Well, pursuit vehicle. Obviously, your CID, your administrative personnel, those are not considered pursuit, so those are going to be driven the tos and the froms, to and from the home, to and from crime scenes, to and from lunch. Whatever they're going to use, and so that number would be significantly less.
Have you calculated how much what this shift would mean in dollars for the annual budget?
I have not, but if you just take the given amount of a vehicle, it's a round number of $100,000 per vehicle to purchase and to make ready that vehicle to be able to use. And I just said we're 7 vehicles now that are between the 150 and 170. That would be 700,000 for next year. We're not, we didn't, again, we also did not ask for any vehicles this year. We're funding 2 out of Senate Bill 22, but we're not asking for any vehicles out of this year's budget. We got caught up, and we've got, like I said, the 2 that were on the budget that we didn't have the funds to make those complete vehicles, and we opted to purchase our own.
So assuming Llano County's policy is not what you want,
That would be the furthest from what we want.
for
Yeah,
those,
when you said all of them, and I was like, really, all of them?
Yeah,
cars are driven until crashed or undrivable.
Just to be
This
clear,
is-
we're not there either, so just to be clear, we're not at.
No, we're not even anywhere close to there.
Yeah.
So if we're heading towards a policy change or an action today, what I'm hearing is pursuit up to 150, but the trigger needs to be, the ordering trigger needs to be,
I would, just as
120.
a recommendation, at a minimum of 125.
125 on the pursuit and all other at 150.
so
It's what
the
he's-
ordering trigger can be 125 with the mileage at 150.
But not necessarily, because 120, say we hit 125 per pursuit, remember that vehicle's then going to courts and going to other, the list that the policy currently has, the transports, the.
How do you imagine that would happen? Would that come back to Commissioner's Court, or, I mean? if we
Imagine how,
modified that
what
policy?
part, to modify it?
Yeah, I'm just saying, can you talk us through?
Sure, the way I picture it-
125.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how.
The way I picture it is currently we're, once we get our other 2 vehicles, we're set for vehicles. And with the 7 that are between 150 and 175, there may be a couple more that will go onto that list. But that would, if we leave things as they are, that would be us asking for 7 vehicles next year at a minimum that are going to be within that target
Can I
range.
clarify, next year's 2028?
That's correct.
Okay, just-
So this year, we're not asking for any. And so, other than one that we just lost, that that we're asking the court, and I think it's supposed to be on tomorrow's agenda, but a vehicle that doesn't run, it's the one I just described, 158,000 miles, it's a 2020, that it doesn't make sense to put another transmission in it. And so we're asking the court to allow us to put that on the list now as a replacement vehicle, but it hasn't happened yet, so I'm not asking for it.
I
So
think,
if we, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, I think one of the key is, to me personally, is I don't think anything over 125 should be in pursuit for use for that
Amen.
purpose. But I would say also that my concern is the yield. Like you say, if it takes a year to prep it and you only drive it for 2 years, then you're just constantly turning that vehicle. I'd like to, see if there's a way we can get, at least 3 or 4 years out of a vehicle once it's out
And we
there.
are, I think we're getting pretty close to 4 and 5 years. I mean, the one I'm just describing is the 2020, so it's 6 years in the fleet at 158.
So I was thinking, if it's at 125 and you're averaging 25,000 a year, that's about 5 years out of it.
That's correct.
I like the 125 and then put it on the list to order at 100 and then the non-pursuits at 125. That way it gives you about a year, if it takes that long to get one, you can kind of plan ahead and figure.
Those are going to be so complicated. It is kind of, yeah, the way that, now I know the state has a lot more money than we have, a lot more funds, but the way DPS does it is your car goes on a list, and then they order the car, and it's ordered for that car. Now, if it happens to get there and outfitted before that car gets to its mileage, that one just sits there until that car hits that mileage and it replaces that car. So kind of what you're saying, if we could have a list, okay, we need to order, if we have the funds. And then that car is sitting there, ready to go when that one reaches its mileage. So that's the list we were trying to talk about. I don't know where that number would be,
Well,
but
wouldn't it, just, so okay, you've got the pursuit vehicle, and what did we say, what was the example you just used, 120?
I didn't use any
125.
numbers. I would just,
But I thought you just said 125.
if it's 125,
And then the new one comes in faster than you anticipated, wouldn't, again, we have to work out the policy, in writing, because really, we don't have it worked out. But wouldn't that new vehicle, instead of just sitting there, wouldn't it be better to replace the pursuit vehicle and then move the one that was a pursuit vehicle into administrative or other law enforcement so that you could get another 20,000?
yeah, if we can do that, that's fine, but
It's under the 150.
it's just,
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's
still-
just the mileage thing. That's the way the state does it, which is pretty simple. Now, I'm not saying we can do that, but that kind of simplifies it.
Yeah.
That
You'd
car.
hate to have a brand-new car sitting there, on the,
Now,
not being
well,
used.
they have a lot more money than we
I
have.
understand, yeah. So what about enforcement of the take-home policy? I mean, can you speak to anything about that, about how far people are currently?
Well, I know that City of Austin's is 50 miles.
Okay.
They can't take City of Austin's is 50 miles.
I can tell you, just and from knowing local law enforcement, Leander went to 100 mile, right? An hour away from their duty station. So it's considered a benefit to be able to do that. And when we have recruits, or we have people that we're actively recruiting, take-home vehicle is a benefit that they recognize. And us maintaining a 25-mile is saying, here's your address, here's the county line, and that's, if they don't, we have them leave it. We had somebody working that lived in Blanco and was outside of it, he had to leave in Marble Falls or whatever the closest place was, that he would make an agreement.
That's what I was asking. Is that
And
how
we
it's
have, yes, sir, and we have people from Llano, we have people from Blanco, we have people from a variety of police agencies that leave their vehicles at our Barnett County Sheriff's Office so that they fit within their mileage, and we do the same.
Okay. And do you think would you say current policy is 25?
25 could be increased, most of them, that's pretty low. I mean,
Okay.
kind of similar to this, and that would be, again, a recruiting tool. I mean, we get a lot of people from Bell County. We've got a lot of employees that live in Bell County that work for us, and that's a big difference. That's a difference maker.
So between now and the next court, can you get with, I guess, the auditor and whoever else to come up with the language, the policy that you want to propose?
Absolutely.
Well, not the next court, since it's tomorrow, but.
The next available court, however, 45 days
Yeah.
from, I'm just kidding.
But in order to be able to make it in time for this budget, so that it becomes
Yeah.
a policy of FY '27.
So the next available agenda,
Yes.
or as soon as you get it done, I guess.
Love to be Travis County, 60,000 miles, but they must not use them, but keep them in service a year and a half, and then they rolling them out.
They don't have enough people to drive them. They've got so many openings.
They have what?
A lot of openings. They have.
Oh, openings,
yeah.
okay. Okay. Can we skip that for right now, and let's work on some language, and I'd like to reach out to a couple more counties but it seems like so far, the few counties that I've talked to so far are 25 to 30 is about normal for a lot of sheriffs around Central Texas and other parts of the state I've talked to. Okay. Everybody okay? No objection to skipping for now, working on that policy? Okay. All right, I call agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for the use of calculation of the FY '27 Burnett County proposed budget regarding the following departments: A, Sheriff's Office; B, Burnett County Jail; C, Constable Precinct 1; D, Constable Precinct 2; E, Constable Precinct 3; F, Constable Precinct 4; G, DPS; H, Burnett County Library System; I, Vet Rides; J, Elections; K, Area Fire Departments; L, Health and Safety, all funds; M, the Auditor's Office; O, Indigent Health Care; P, Developmental Services; and Q, 911 Database. Is there any public comment on these agenda items? Okay. Go ahead and close public comment. So I've rearranged the order in your book. I have to really get my glasses out now, Mr. Collier. I'm going to take elections first. So basically, what you have here is a slight increase about mostly in wages and the only thing I had, I wanted to ask the elections administrator is I see in 25, they had a part-time elections clerk, and several people have reached out to me that work in the elections. It seems that, it feels like to them that we're short-staffed as far as regular staff people. Is that something that we need to at least think about bringing back? Because so many citizens have reached out to me personally saying, like, shouldn't she have a, like right now it's just you and two people.
I'll never say no to more people.
I understand, but would a part-time or even seasonal worker be helpful to you? Or is that-
Absolutely, yeah, especially during the heavy election cycles. So September through November, sometimes in December, if we have a runoff from the November election, it gets hectic and we're working a lot.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to judge based on this only being my 4th week here, but.
I understand, yeah, but it was just the one thing that I saw that as I was going to checking on polls and talking to different people, election workers, a lot of your volunteers were going, gosh, it just seems like they're just really short-staffed, so.
Yeah, if we could add that back in for this fiscal year. And then I did keep the contract labor the same as what we had budgeted last year, which typically that can go down in lower election years. Like for this next fiscal year, we're just gonna have November and then possibly a May jurisdictional.
So
But I
for the
kept-
fiscal year, we'll have the big general election in November, and then we'll have school boards, bonds, things like that might
Next May.
be occurring in May, is correct? Okay.
But I kept that the same because their pay is pretty low. It's between $10 and $12 an hour. So that's something I'm gonna look at and potentially increase that as we go forward, because getting poll workers is an issue statewide, I would say. And pay is kind of a perk for that. But everything else is relatively the same, if we could just add that temp clerk back in there.
Could we do that out of moving some of that part-time labor out of there for this year and then look at it in the future?
Let me look and see what an estimate for this November, how much we're gonna look at paying the Clerks, yeah.
Election
And then-
workers or poll?
poll workers, yeah. And then see if I can move some stuff around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know, again, you're really new here, but last year there was a little bit of confusion. We had to do some budget amendments. Now, does this budget look like it adequately reflects the contracts that we have in place for like Hart Verity and some of the, what is the VR? Is that the other?
VR systems and
Yeah.
then our HART contract. So the HART contract increases a certain percentage. I don't know which one that is
Understand.
right now, but I did go back to the 80,000 that we ended up having to increase that line to
Okay.
for this fiscal year.
And that will cover both the contracts that were required by the Secretary of State to
Yes.
manage? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
So what are you thinking? Add that 13.8 or say 14 to the temp clerk?
Yeah, I think, I don't know that we necessarily have to vote on this. Let her get back to me with what the temp clerk would be based on, and then how much she'll actually need for the November and May elections. Because the May elections, Stephanie, we're not going to have all 20. Generally, we wouldn't have all 20 locations open, right? We do
Right,
the
it's just
early voting
jurisdictional.
and then the,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right. So,
It'll be much smaller than this November.
but if you don't mind, we'll work through and let her figure out like I said, that was the biggest statement that I got consistently as I was talking to folks about elections and how things were going, and it's just like, wow, they're really short-staffed. And I don't know that a seasonal worker would be that effective, so you
Yeah.
need to look at part-time, regular versus seasonals and come back with numbers if that's okay. Is that all right, everybody? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, move on to the high sheriff. I got to find that song for you, Sheriff.
Could I ask that the jail go next so that we
Oh,
can
sure.
get Matt?
Sure. I forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see, we're going to page 9 of 23. I knew there was a point to that conversation. I just missed it.
It's all right, we got it.
Okay.
Good morning, Warden.
Good morning.
Good morning, Matt Kimbler, County Jail.
Have you had time to look over you realize that as far as the wages, I just set what the county had already posted into Encode based on our
Yes.
raises, and she recalculated the HR, and she recalibrated the retirement longevity. And they told me cert pay, but you can come back later if you
Okay.
find that the cert pays off. But everything should be reflective as far as the hard numbers that we made a vote on, a week or two ago about wages.
Okay.
So do you want to just start on page 10? And is there anything,
I was looking over the budget that you sent out earlier this morning. Kind of looks like y'all aligned with whatever we asked for.
okay,
Most of the things and the changes that we did make in the budget were CPI increases, and those are things that we already have under contract. That would be our medical, food service. So those are already contracted rates. Based upon, spoke with them, they're on between 3.5 and 3.8 of CPI, which is within the realm of the contract. Most other things, like I said, didn't change. Some things we were able to reduce. I think overall, the budget actually went down before depending on the salary increase, but just besides that.
now, there's one thing, and it might be something later when we get back to the regular sheriff, but on the SB 22, I see, so SB 22 is the sheriff's prerogative for determining what that $350,000 goes. But I'm a little worried on this budget that the FICA retirement, workers' comp, and unemployment might not be calculated correctly because it stayed the same from last year to this year. So, but I don't know. I'm just saying, we need to look at that. So,
You and I on the fly, right?
Yeah.
so we need to check on that just to make sure that it stays the same like it's supposed to. But it's just something I noticed that I was expecting some change. It doesn't have to be much on, but retirement and longevity would certainly change from one year to the next. So now, so anyway, there's some interest there that maybe will make up the difference for longevity. It's not going to be huge, right?
No,
The
it's not.
I mean, FICA's calculated on a percentage, so if the number doesn't change, the percentage doesn't.
So what I calculated is roughly we're $31,000 in the red in FICA at the jail for the balance of this year.
Okay.
So whatever the current amount is for FICA for FY '26 would need to add roughly $32,000 in order to cover FICA properly.
And it looks like that Kelly had calculated 25,000 increase this year.
That's close. Yep.
Okay, all right.
That'll get it. And the other one was retirement will be about $9,500 for the remainder of this year. So whatever retirement was for FY '26 would need to add almost $10,000 in order to, and I think that's what Matt and I did.
Looked like she came up a lot on that, 636 over
It'll be
548.
over.
Okay,
It'll be over then.
all right.
And then the only other thing is overtime is going to be, certificate pay was significantly higher. We'll finish the year with $30,000 in the black on certificate pay.
Oh,
But we'll
for the
end
jail?
year- We'll end
For
the
the
year at
jail.
overtime.
Okay,
End the year at 15,000 in the red on overtime, which we can move those monies over as the year continues to progress.
okay. All right, and it's 25,000 more on that. Okay, then the jail commissary, it looks like you went to a contractor. Is that what
Yes.
this is reflective of?
Yes, sir. We have a contract company. The only thing I did was I moved some of the funds around, just some of the issues like we're having this year is all the monies that come in goes to an account, and the account's called actually interest earned, which doesn't reflect actually what it is. It's actually the main account that all the funds go to. So I'm just realigning some of that so I don't have to come back and ask for line item movements. So that's why we just did some changes in
And
there.
we're doing a bunch tomorrow, I
Yes,
think.
sir.
That's correct? Okay, so, and then just a reminder that this particular fund is the sheriff's prerogative. That's why I have it noticed in there, that it has to be budgeted. The sheriff has to come to us and budget it, but it's his exclusive discretion of how the funds are used.
Yes, sir.
Within the parameters of whatever is required, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so.
11.
Yeah, that's page 11. I'm sorry, I made the switch, guys. I forgot to tell you. Okay, and then we're going to do 59 later, right? With the sheriff? Okay. All right, anyway, 59's on, mark that spot for chapter 59. Again, one of the sheriff's prerogatives. It has to be budgeted by law, but it's outside of Commissioner's Court authority.
Pull it out.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Mr. Kimbler?
And that, we're not asking for any additionals for this next budget year. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff on the agenda tomorrow, and then that'll kind of clean the sweep us for next year.
Okay, good. All right,
Thank you.
all right. So then we go back to page 3?
Two.
For just the sheriff?
2, sorry.
I just want to hit on a few key points. Our FY '27 budget is roughly $650,000 lower than our FY '26 current budget is, so $650,000. The first thing that I want to address is the dispatch overtime, the dispatch positions. We had asked, or asking that instead of the current percentage, the 4%, that it be a total of 10% increase for dispatch, and I'll let the supervisor of that unit, Mike Sorensen, explain that. There and there.
Which one is that on?
Page 3,
Oh, that them right there?
telecommunications.
All right, good.
I'll help you if you help me.
Okay, this is page 3, about a third of the way down, telecommunicators.
Okay. Mike Sorensen, Bernie County Sheriff's Office. In the 4.5 years I've been the supervisor over communications, I've never been full. We have 12 slots in there. Currently, I have 5 filled.
Wow.
And we're struggling. Just to give you an idea of what these women are in there doing, I ran a number this morning from January 1 till today, 29,905 calls for service. 911 calls are 9,511, and I've got 5 people doing that amount of work right now, out of 12. If anybody's ever been in there, that place is jumping. And besides that, they have to do what are called validations, which they have to go through the system and pull stuff that's been put into TCIC, NCIC for a certain amount of time. If it's been found or recovered or think they got to remove that, on top of answering phone calls, dispatching officers to calls, things like this. They have to add protective orders, warrants. There's a number of things they do besides just answer a phone and radios. And I've got 5 people doing that right now. Part of that reason is pay. We've checked around just to give you an idea of what we've got out there right now. Right now, we're at $23.48 to hire a dispatcher. If you look online, any other position in the county as a civilian, clerk or whatever, starts off more than a dispatcher. Dispatchers have to have a TCOL license. Their training is 6 months long before we turn them loose out there, but yet they get paid less than anybody else in the county. That's part of the problem we have trying to get people here. Everybody that we do hire is brand spanking new, and this is a lot of times their first entry-level job. So the money is good for them, but they get certified and then they leave and go to another agency. And they're all going to adjoining counties. Williamson County, Austin, Leander, Cedar Park. That's where they're all going. And they pay significantly better. Just to give you an idea what they're paying out there right now, Travis County entry level is $26. Austin Police Department, just for a 911 call taker who does nothing else but 911, $24. A dispatcher is $25 an hour starting off at. Mid-range supervisor is $50. Leander Police Department is $27 starting off. Starting pay, and then annually over time, they get up to $37 an hour for experienced officers. Leander Police Department, 27. For Burnett County is 24, up to 27 for brand-new officers. I can't retain experience is part of the problem. If we have experience, it's so much better than having young dispatchers on there who can make mistakes or who have to have someone looking over their shoulder constantly. So we're asking for some kind of a pay increase so that I can hire experienced dispatchers to come here and stay here, which eliminates the training time. Because right now, it's 6 months to train a brand-new dispatcher. And they stay for about a year, and then they leave, and we got to start the process all over again. So again, I got 5 right now,
Do you know what Marble Falls pays?
less than us.
Less than you?
Less than us, and we have not had a single person go there, believe it or not. Okay. I've actually hired one from there recently. We're looking at a couple of others. It just depends, but they make less than we do right now. So
And that's run by the city, right? Is that?
they're
is that regional?
their own standalone, but it's the city. It's no longer the police department, but it's the city.
All right.
Yeah. They call themselves Hill Country. I
Highland
believe.
Lakes.
Highland Lakes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So those are Group 106. What's a step? Or
I don't know.
are they stepped out at 23
No,
years?
they get the steps every time all county employees get a step, they'll get a step up as well. So they are in the step program.
So basically, step one is, 106, step one is $23? you said?
$23, yeah. And the other issue is, and I think the county attorney's office brought this up a year or two ago, the DA's office, we have the same issue. If we hire somebody with experience, I can only start them at pay grade 3, which is not much more than that. It's like $25 an hour. If you have 15 years, 20 years experience, that's where I have to start them. So we don't get to compensate them for that knowledge and experience that they bring to the table for us. But that's not what I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about getting some pay increase for dispatchers so that we can get people hired that will stay here with us and not be a training ground for dispatchers.
So does this look like I've got this correctly? I think the 816,000 I put in is basically what Kelly had provided me as the increased wages for the 4% step for which is this year 771 became 816, and what you're asking for is 848,000. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah. If you look at the overtime rate for the sheriff's office, the dispatchers use every bit of that. They are far outweighing everybody else in the agency on overtime. I've got dispatchers working 130 hours in a pay period, which is entirely too much. But with five staff, we have to do something to man these radios 24 hours a day.
Yeah, you'll burn people out.
Well, and that's the problem that we're having, is we make them take off.
What did you say?
I said you'll burn people
We're
out.
burning
yes,
them out,
thank
we
you.
are.
All right.
But they're dedicated, the ones we have are dedicated, which we appreciate, but we're making them work too much. 130 hours in a pay period is a lot. Oh, yeah, we're also, we've got to call out for call takers. We have other people volunteer to do call taking from the jail, from patrol, from other divisions within to help assist them, so they'll answer the phone calls so that dispatchers can dispatch and answer 911 and stuff like that.
And they have to be certified to come do that?
Not to do that, not
Okay.
to do that. They'll just answer the phone and put the call in the CAD, and the dispatcher does everything else.
But that in hand is making our overtime go up because all those divisions, the funds come from their overtime. So our
Right.
overtime is going up.
Oh, you're saying that, like, if I work in the jail and I go take a call, then the overtime
overtime.
jail is going up, not
Yeah.
the telecommunicators?
Right, yeah, they're getting paid their overtime from their duty assignment, not in dispatch. They get paid a whole lot less than they wouldn't work in there.
And so what is this, I guess we're talking about $32,000 from, right? What is that?
Where are you talking, what not?
Well, I'm looking at the version with, so current, this year, it's 771 is what's budgeted. And then 816 is what the wage would be if given the 4% and all that. And so there's a $32,000 difference between what you're asking. Sorry, I'm rounding, but about $32,000 difference. And what does that turn into, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to. And it's okay if you don't have it here. I was just saying, like, that's going from $23, I mean, were you planning on going to 25?
we do have that.
I'm sorry. Just trying to figure out what that translates out to the individual people.
It'll be,
I know that Blanco County's struggling too.
Because there's only so much benefit derived from living in a wonderful place. You have to still get paid,
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
see
I
something.
wouldn't. Sheriff, what you and I saw in that. It's, okay, but I mean.
I'll get you that number.
It's about you think it's about $1, $2 difference?
Yes, sir.
Per person? Okay. And so that translates out to 2080 times $2 is, $4,000 of difference in pay. And I guess my question is that enough?
Enough.
I'm not advocating for more, I'm
Sure.
just saying,
Well, and the other thing is in the course of FY '26, we've lost 11 dispatchers. So
in this
this
fiscal year.
fiscal year
Right.
alone, we've lost 11
Well,
dispatchers.
and I guess that goes back to my point. If $32,000 translates to about, overall, a $2 times 2080 is the work year, it's $4,000.
Seem to be losing people to Georgetown and Williamson County, so I think we're probably going to pay somewhere along that line.
Who's all in Group 106? Is that just telecommunicators?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're thinking of just bumping that whole group up $2 all the way through the steps?
What do we have to do to increase that hourly rate to be more compensatory with the other agencies that we're having to lose them to? Georgetown, Leander, Round Rock, Travis County.
You may end up having to change your pay group, depending on how much latitude there is within that pay group. You may end up having to change
Well, yeah,
that.
or are you going to go into 110 and 116?
Is there a 107, 108, I assume? If there's a 106 and a 110, we
It
don't
goes,
have-
yeah, 106. The supervisor is 110.
Right.
So there's nothing in between 6 and 10.
Okay, that's where I was going.
So the steps currently are from step 1 to step 12. So they coincide with the sheriff's office numbers of steps.
Well, what's one of the higher steps, like 10?
2769.
That's
That's the
Group
highest?
116?
That's the
Oh,
highest.
That's the
That's-
highest on that 106?
For a basic telecommunicator, yes, sir.
Our other agencies are starting at a higher rate than that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm sorry. Other agencies are starting them at a higher rate than that,
Okay.
and that's maxed out on the step. So they're starting at a higher pay rate than that. So
What
we're,
I did was take the data that we got from the larger agencies and the smaller agencies and took the average of that, and we're in the middle, basically in the middle of both those two groups.
I would just, if you bump them up $2 all the way up, how does that affect Group 110?
There's only one supervisor.
And he'll still be, or she will still be, that person will still be higher.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you don't have-
If
you
yeah, if
necessarily
it
don't have to-
continues,
you
yeah.
don't have to bump up Group
if you-
110.
If you bump up this 106, it'll bump up, you would need to also bump up the supervisor, and there's only one supervisor in dispatch.
That's just what I was thinking, that there's the trickle up effect.
right, just so they don't get caught up with their supervisor pay rate. That supervisor has to be able to make more.
As an example, so a step 1 for telecommunicator is 2348. The shift lead, the supervisor is at 2826.
Run that
For
by
step
me.
1.
What was that?
The telecommunicator basic, the number 1 step is at 2348, and the supervisor is at 2826 at the same level. So if you bump
And
One,
that's-
from 2348 to 2548, the supervisor would need to go to 3026 to be comparable.
And what happens to the shift leads? The one
That's
ten.
the one and the same.
It's a shift lead. That is a shift lead.
Shift lead or, and a supervisor.
The shift lead, and then so, I'm sorry, I misspoke. There's the basic telecommunicators, there's 4 shift leads, because we have 4 shifts.
We have
and-
one shift lead currently.
And then 1 supervisor.
And so what is the shift lead then?
The shift lead is a 2826 is
Oh, I thought
step
that was
1.
the supervisor.
That's
No.
the current now, 28.
Supervisor would be, actually, we had a sergeant, a commissioned peace officer as the supervisor of that group. We have now made that a civilian position where that she would be, and I'd have to
Okay.
visit with Shirley to find out what we did with hers.
But 2826 is for the shift leads,
That's
not the
correct.
supervisor.
That's correct.
That's where I think we're trying to get to. So 2826 is shift
And
lead.
that's current.
Here's the lieutenant,
Okay.
the sergeants.
That's the current. And then,
3757, but she's not that.
The supervisor at 116 should
anyway,
have
I guess
enough
my point
difference.
is, I'm not for or against, I'm just trying to make sure that if it's a $2 jump times 2,080 hours in a given year, that's 4,000. That's, so it's 32,000 divided by 4,000 is eight people getting a $4,000 jump.
That's correct.
Is that what's supposed to happen here?
That's correct.
Is it?
6, yeah, 8 telecommunicators.
Okay, all right. But then that's, the budget request is only for the basic, not the supervisor or the shift leads.
It would need to be for the supervisor. I mean, it was shift leads also.
It would need to be for-
Well, I know, but is that reflected in your 848?
I'm sorry?
I think so.
It doesn't appear to be, again,
Just say it looked
it's
like
not a
from the
criticism, but it
dispatcher.
doesn't
Okay.
appear to be enough money for what you're asking in that. If-
The original form that we received only had a line item for telecommunicator, and that,
I see.
my original was 771.80 because that was
I
what,
see. Okay.
and so I asked for a 10% increase from that 771,180.80 for the complete group.
So I'd like to, if we could, let's work back through this to make sure we have the
To
number.
break it down. Yes, sir.
It's just, my math is just, if standard unit of 2,080 hours a year, that's not enough money to actually address the
And
issue.
just so that, make sure that everybody, the original form that we received to submit our budget only has telecommunicators. It didn't have
Oh,
the breakdown into, so that total amount was for the complete group.
sorry. Yeah, I don't,
And also, if we can reconsider or consider some option to hire in those with experience at a higher pay rate than a 3. Because that's probably less than what they're making where they're currently at, and we wouldn't be able to entice anybody to come here.
okay.
Whatever that rate might be, anything
That's
would
kind
help.
of I think we need to work through the budget here, but I think that's actually a policy issue that we already have.
Okay.
We already have, if you have the budget, we already have a way where the sheriff can come to the commissioner's court and say, I've got so-and-so. I mean, we do it, I don't say all the time, but we do it pretty regularly, so where somebody wants to hire in as a higher rate. So that's okay to deal with that. Is there anything else about just the general sheriff's budget? Oh, yeah, you have some more stuff. You're
Yes,
not
sir.
done, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just a couple of others. You mentioned earlier also about just a couple of cleanups on longevity and certificate pay. So longevity increased, and your number, or the number that you inserted, or that Kelly inserted is, I inserted the 91,500.
We're still on telecommunicators?
No, we're on all longevity, which is included in telecommunicator.
Okay.
That includes the telecommunicators. That's all longevity for the SO. We've got 3 separate longevities: SO, courts, and jail. Just for the longevity, which is just a minimal increase from what was adopted last year, 86.55 to 91.50. Certificate pay, if you recall, we increased that amount because of now including our sergeants for certificate pay. And so that larger amount. This year's amount did not include sergeants. We adjusted that within the first couple of months of the fiscal year, and that's why I increased it to the $35,000. And then overtimes, telecommunicators, it's a problem that we're going to continue to have. We've bumped it up. It'll be something that we would be able to move lapse funds into to beef it up like we have this year. But I put closer to the actual number. This year, we're already at, I think, about 180,000, so we're.
And again, that's just for the people in
Just
this
dispatch,
department?
yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And if we can become more competitive on keeping telecommunicators, then that should eventually start to go down.
That's
Right.
correct.
Almost a car there. All right.
Yes, sir.
So let me just make sure I understood your last thought, the first one, that you're saying you put in 91,500, but the auditor had given me 88, or HR.
Sure,
the
and I
auditor.
rounded up just so that I made sure
All
that we
right,
covered it.
so
Hey,
that's fine. I
yes,
mean, in
sir.
other words, again, I'm
It'll be
trusting on
close.
them to look at who we have, like any new person wouldn't have qualified for longevity.
That's
So
correct.
it would be only people assuming that they stayed here.
That's correct.
Correct?
That's correct.
So that's okay then. And then what was the other?
The other one was just certificate pay.
No, it was,
That's where we added the sergeants this year,
okay,
which hadn't been included in certificate pay prior to this year.
okay. And I don't.
I asked for
I should have-
35,000.
I don't have that, I don't have her spreadsheet here, so but you want me to check on that 21,735, because that looks odd that it's the same this year as last year, and it should have gone up at
Should have
least a
gone
little
up.
bit. All right, so let me,
Well, and it should have gone up just because
well, sorry.
certificates are going to remain the same, but the sergeants were added.
Okay, let me
Actually,
look into that.
Corporals
I
added
don't,
too?
I-
Okay. And top of my head, I think it was sergeants and corporals were both added, and they previously hadn't been. That's why the number's so much higher, almost double.
okay, all right, let me look at that. All right, anything else?
Contracts and agreements, is there any of that you wanted to?
I just took some of the names out of your, on my version of the budget, I took names out of
Sure.
the software. I don't, I mean, some of them it says like for drones, and so I left that, but if it had a name of a software, I just took it out.
Because we increased the amount of drones that we have, that means
No,
we,
I just meant, I was letting you know.
Got it,
I took
got
the
it.
names out for
so
cybersecurity.
I do have one that I would like to discuss. Trusted driver is part of that.
Let's see,
and
no, so what, you were saying contracts and-
Licensing, I'm sorry, contracts and agreements.
So is there anything, so are some of these new?
The only one that would be new is the trusted driver.
Okay.
And there's a $35,000 per year subscription fee.
And is that, but I see that we went from 75,000 to 169, so all the rest of these were just increases
I
in
can,
operations?
that's why I marked it also, so that I can, if there's any of those that, I can run down that list and tell you which ones we had and which ones we didn't have. Drone, since we had, it increased. Motorola licensing for body in-car cameras is at 30,000, which is an increase.
Did I miss one in digital recorder? What, I've got a blank here, and I don't know, I was trying to be really careful not, it's,
There's, oh yes, a Motorola license for digital recorder.
what is that? I have a blank here for some reason.
What does it do?
No.
How much
I'm
it cost?
How much is, for whatever reason, I put digital recorder, but I don't have an amount, so, and I don't know if I copied that from somewhere or what, so.
Oh, no, it should be the 10,000, it's called Eventide.
Oh, okay.
So Eventide, so it's the 10,354.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
should
so
be-
it's
That
not
is just the
going below
name
that.
of the digital recorder. Yes, I'm
Got it.
sorry.
Thank you. Anyway, what were you going to say about the trusted driver sub? What was?
It is a ticketing software
Oh, yeah.
currently, and I'm going to let Captain Clark explain that portion of it to
Go
you.
ahead.
Good morning, Steve Clark. I'm your patrol captain at the Sheriff's Office. A real brief summary of what the Trusted Driver Program is. Like Chief just said, it's a citation and warnings software. Couple key components to this probably at the forefront, it increases deputy safety across the board. Couple of reasons it'll do that is it's going to help keep deputies out of their units, off of their laptops. It's going to allow them to focus more heavily on the occupants of vehicles during their contacts. It will also streamline the contact, the things that they have to physically do to issue either their citation or their written warning. And that's going to decrease the time on stop through that efficiency. Regarding hardware, this is a cell phone-based app system is the way that we would deploy it. There's some additional benefits to having those cell phones. One would be work calls generically across the board. Currently, when a deputy out in the field has to handle a call over the phone, they're using a private cell phone or they're coming to the office to do that on a landline. And in addition to the cell phones used as a phone, we would use the camera system on those phones, and that would flat out replace the need for digital cameras. Digital cameras are basically cheap point and shoots running about $100 to $150. We replace those regularly. It's really a consumable product. They go out pretty regular, so that would be a huge benefit. The way that the citations are issued is on some form of a card, and it's entirely customizable. Think of like a postcard size. They come with a QR code that's issued to the violator. The violator can scan the QR code, and all of that is programmed internally. It'll route the violator everywhere they need to go to handle that citation in any form that they choose with the courts. Part of the hardware component to this is currently with Brazos, we're running printers. This will replace the need to purchase, maintain, and regularly replace those printers. Give or take $600 per unit. We're running 45 plus units out in the field. The printers are on about a 5-year cycle for replacement as is. We recently had a software update with Tyler and Brazos that voided the printers across the board. They're all currently out of service. Staff Sergeant Swain's acquired 2 printers that we're utilizing for testing, but it's taken just over a year to work with Tyler and Brazos to get all of the programming and the configurations correct to actually get the testing set up on those. That's just one of the many problems that we have with that current hardware. With the creation of all of those printers going obsolete, all field units are currently having to handwrite every citation and warning for every contact that they make. And then they are doubling the work because they still have to log into the Brazos system and then manually enter everything so that it routes its way to the courts appropriately. One of the benefits to this, when we consulted all of our JPs, we were fortunate we were able to get all the JPs and their staff into the room to get a quality demo from Trusted Driver. One of the benefits for their side is not only is there compatibility, a path to continuity from Trusted Driver to Brazos and Odyssey, but this program will allow for complaints to be prepped and completed and signed prior to even the need for them. Currently, when a JP needs a complaint for something like a fail to appear, we've got to track down a deputy. Think about 50% of the field staff are on nights, so they're probably a lot more difficult to get a hold of. We've got to get that deputy up to the office and complete that complaint. This sets that up ahead of time. And then lastly, there's some data sharing with every agency that uses this program and some mapping capabilities. So we can check hotspots, we can look at problem areas of the county, and that would additionally allow us to focus on those areas, better allocation of resources out in the field. If you have any questions, I will do my best to articulate our way through them.
How does the camera substitute how does that tie in? I mean, are you just using the camera off the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how does it mount into their vest or?
No, so kind of a side benefit of having cell phones. We would need the cell phones to work this program. We would use the cameras on the cell phones to replace digital cameras for anything, point and shoot at crime scenes and things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Anything else? Chief?
And another key point was that we currently have roughly 45 of those at $600 a pop. And none of ours are currently working. That's $27,000 just by itself. And so we're asking for $35,000 as a subscription to do away with all of those, the printers, all the printing, and it goes straight to the sources. Of course, that does require us to purchase 15 more phones, and we've also purchasing 7 cradle points so that we're able to transmit better and get reception with these guys. And I don't know if I heard him say it, but the other thing it keeps our guys from doing I'm thinking of the wrong source, sorry. That's the next product we're gonna talk about, but skip that part till next time.
I had a question, was it going to be, so I'm assuming that's why your cell mobile phone
Has
went up,
increased, yes, sir.
increased.
About 10,000.
Yeah.
Yep. That catches the 15 cell phones and 7 Cradle points. And the Cradle points are really more for the cloud request that we're making. Hold on. And the other big option is DPS is, I believe, beta testing this now so that they can do it statewide.
Does citation still require a signature?
They'll actually, there's a little cutoff part on the bottom that the violator will sign, rip it off, the deputy will retain that, go out to the courts.
So it's got some sort of little printer with it?
No,
No printer, no.
you get a postcard, basically.
Oh,
Yeah, so I stop you for speeding, I make your contact, and whenever we do our business,
And it's got
all
that
I'm going to
cue
leave you
card
with
on
is a postcard. And it
Okay.
tells you whether it's a warning or if it's a ticket, and if it's a ticket, it walks you through on the form, and it's also can come in a variety of languages. And that can be set up with the courts also, so that if it needs to be in Spanish on the website, they can have it in Spanish on the descriptions of it.
So you'll hand them a postcard, it's got
Yes,
that
sir.
Q code on it?
With the- and
that
that-
Q code goes with their.
That's correct.
All right.
Good on that one?
All right, I'm good on that one. I do want to call out on the laptops and the desktops, we're considering, the reason I put 20,000 as opposed to what's there is we put on the Commissioners Court agenda to go ahead and authorize the Toughbook and, or I guess laptop and
The remaining 20,000 would be for the vests.
for the vest, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the other, just a quick call out, I left some I put 1 cent in several of these other categories that we've used in the past, either move money into, because one of the things we talked about in non-departmental is I'd set aside some grant money match, and so I just wanted to leave the category alive. So that if we needed
We are
to-
not eligible for, so as an example, grant match for vests.
No, I was just saying,
Okay.
grant match, it's that category, grant match, 4,800.
Right,
is-
and we typically use that for our vests, and so it's,
But it's for whatever.
yeah,
so-
yes, sir. And so we did not have a grant application was not submitted.
Okay. So, anyway, so I left some placeholder, I don't want the category to go away, is what I'm trying to say, is I want the category to stay rolling forward.
Sure.
Into next year, is what I'm
Right.
trying to communicate.
Right, and absolutely want to make sure that that's the case.
Okay.
And also you just mentioned the laptops and the,
There's.
Toughbooks
Tomorrow's
and-
agenda is
Yes, sir.
laptops,
Yep.
desktops, and Toughbooks.
So,
I don't
yes,
know
sir.
if some of those are the same.
right.
Okay. I don't know that they'll pass, but if they do, then we'll.
The only thing that I asked for also on line item 5760, which is machine and equipment capitalized, is 14,000 to cover the in-car radios for the 2 vehicles that we'll purchase out of Senate Bill 22.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Senate Bill 22 was basically mostly the same, tasers and
That's on
payroll.
page 5.
That's,
Now, this 290, 5,600, some of these other categories, I believe these are the ARPA funds that are going to, these categories are going to roll off.
Yes, sir, they are.
They were in 25, and then, so when we get to this next cycle, when we get to this new budget.
This will be the
cycle,
last year of it.
These will not be there anymore.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, then, anyways, again, same with SB 22, I need to work on the, was it, anyway, whatever the fringe benefits, I'm not sure they're correct, so I just need to work through this with y'all. Okay.
When we get to courts,
Courthouse
Page-
security.
Page 6.
Courthouse security, yes. Also another, same reason for the increase in certificate pay was to pick up the sergeant and the corporal in that division. So they increased it. And I haven't referred to your new one this morning on whether that matched out.
Right. Again, I was just depending on
Sure.
them to give me
Okay.
the number. So,
And so I've got 12,000 on there, and that was again a round up so
oh, did
that
I
we
put
made.
this wrong? Then yours was 12,000 on that,
For courts.
for I'm sorry, certificate pay.
What page are you on, sir?
I'm on page 6. I put 10, but you asked for 12. Is that what you're saying? I might have made a mistake. There was a lot of numbers last night.
8 and 8
It says 8
for
and 8.
certificate pay.
Well, but I think what he's saying, he asked for 12. I need to look into that. Same corporal sergeant, same issue.
For longevity, I asked for 12.
All right, that's at 14,840.
And that's, yeah, that's plenty. And then for certificate pay, 8.
Oh, you did ask for 8, and I put 8, okay. And I think that's what Kelly had in her
Perfect.
book. But
Those are low this year, so they will increase. And did barely ask for a little bit of increase on jury expense. It has gone up just a little bit with the amount of juries that we've been having.
Is that pizza and
That's,
stuff like that?
yes, sir,
Okay.
pizzas and water. The best for our jurors.
What I sit around at 8 o'clock at night wondering. All right. All right, thank you.
And on the hot ATTF, went strictly from what was sent in from the state.
Can you tell us what page you're
That's
on?
page 8. He doesn't have, I don't know that he has.
I have it, but I'm going off of what I
I
had.
know, it's page 8, please.
If you have any questions regarding that, that's increasing a new position
So-
in Waco, is that correct? Only, or Waco and only? Okay, so that is hot ATTF, the Auto Task Force, asking for a new position in Waco, which is pretty critical to the work that we do.
Now, as far as cash match, we don't provide a whole lot other than what's been generated by the program. But I do have a question because, and I don't know, Howard, if you can answer it for me, but they got a tremendous amount of money the last 2 years, and I think they're anticipated again. Has our percentage or the percentage that the state has responsible with all that new money, has that gone up percentage-wise?
No, sir. Howard Steinauer, Barnett County Sheriff's Office, Heart of Texas Auto Theft. The state received $66 million for auto prevention, crime prevention. We were awarded our 706. We were also additionally awarded the SB 224, $183,000, which would cover the Waco PD.
Is that in here on this budget, or is it separate?
Yes, we've given that to
Yes,
the chief
I-
for
I'm
Waco.
What did you just say? What PD?
Waco Police
Oh,
Department?
Waco PD. So we did get additional funding for Waco?
Yes, sir, that was approved this week
The
in
164,
Fort Worth.
okay. Yeah, you just came back from conference, didn't you?
Yeah, 183,679 was awarded
Okay.
Friday. Waco's salary fringe and a vehicle and upfitting will come up to 175,600, so that'll cover that.
Okay. So, but the percentage, I guess, did we ask them to raise the percentage for,
We keep asking, but they're still at the 80/20.
okay. And so the money that we're generating, I mean, you're basically earning your own keep on this grant.
Yes, sir, that way the
Isn't that the
Barnett
way it's
County
still going?
taxpayers are paying zero. It's
Right.
all coming from program income,
Okay.
doing the 68
So
AZR vehicle
adding-
seizures.
Adding a Waco officer generates additional income. So just for everybody's knowledge, the statute, is it still $40 or $60?
Yes, sir, $40.
So when somebody has a title question that needs to be solved or reviewed to see if a vehicle's stolen, we charge $40. And then the more officers you have, the more money it generates. And
Yes,
so-
sir, that's correct.
Okay, so, but they're not coming off of that 80/20?
No,
okay?
sir.
With that much money, I'm just shocked. But okay, thank you for doing a good job, and thank you for keeping the taxpayers from having to do that, so I
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Thank
it. Okay, anything else, Chief?
I'm going to ask
Oh,
Captain Dillard to come up and talk about the victim liaison position.
Thank you. I looked over all the material last night, and I was a little fuzzy on this one, so thank you.
All right. I guess.
I don't want to seem rude, but I have to be somewhere 11. I can't miss it. We've all gone over this and over this, so I'm confident they're gonna do what we want to do. So I have to leave, and I apologize for having to leave. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
So, Ms. Stafford, I do have a copy for you, but there's a page numbering discrepancy between my working copy and the published copy. So if we get down into the weeds, I want to be able to give you all some page numbers. What we're asking for is to finally absorb a position that we've been shoestringing through grants since, I believe, 2017. We built this program on the Victim of Crime Act grants, federal money that comes down through the COGS. I went up there and made grant presentation after grant presentation. We ultimately exhausted the Victim of Crime Act. We weren't able to apply anymore because obviously our grants aren't designed to endlessly fund personnel positions. At one point, Mr. Wilson, this predates you, we actually got a rug pull from the governor's office. The COG awarded us the grant, and we paid our person for a couple of months, and then the office of the governor said, no, you can't have this grant anymore. Judge Oakley, to his credit, he went to bat and got the governor's office to respect the COG's decision, and we were able to finish out that year. We then went to the Violence Against Women Act, another funding mechanism also through the COG's federal funding, and we are wrapping up our third year on that. We're not eligible to put in for that anymore. So, good news, bad news. Bad news is we're out of grant opportunities for this long-running program. Good news is this is one of those grants where your match increases and the funding decreases each year. So I believe, Mike told me we're at 80-20 to us. So we're already carrying 80% of this bucket of water on this position.
For FY26.
Yeah, for current year, the 25-26 budget that we are in now. Further good news on this, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, fact of life on, grant-funded positions. When we fund through Violence Against Women Act, the position was restricted as to activities, just like the Auto Theft Task Force can't go work a bunch of check forgery cases if we don't have a vehicle nexus to that. Violence Against Women Act kind of left male victims out in the cold. A lot of our child victims kind of out in the cold. Now, we've done the very best we can to not truly leave these folks out in the cold and to through other personnel or, minimal expenditure of time, get them taken care of. So that brings me back to good news of coming off of grant, is that this position, in addition to assuring that we comply with our requirements regarding victims of crime, I'll get to that here in a second, that we can do whatever we need to help the citizens of this county. So to your presentation, or to the published materials here, the bulk of what you have in front of you is Chapter 56A of the Code of Criminal Procedure. And I'll not be going through this word for word with you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And as usual, the first part of any major chapter is definitions and things like that aren't terribly entertaining information.
I'll take you first to deep in, and I believe it's page 21. You'll find some highlighted material in the published copy there. This is our requirement. The 56 Alpha, 56A 203 establishes a requirement that each law enforcement agency have a designated crime victim liaison. This is a different requirement. If you look up the page a little bit, and I don't know if it's still on 21 or where it is in yours, but 56A 201 puts a similar requirement on Mr. Arredondo's office and Mr. Thomas's office. And so they are not the same thing. The victims assistant coordinators for the prosecutor's office is a completely separate requirement from the crime victim liaison for law enforcement agencies. And then following, you'll see 204 has some general duties of the crime victim liaison. There's also a companion statute for the prosecutor's offices. As you look at on page 3 of your material, there's a lengthy list of rights of crime victims that have to be respected and have to be met by the crime victim liaison and or the victims assistance coordinators for the prosecutor's office. A lot of things in there. Again, I won't go through all of them. You'll see also on page 7, there's additional requirements for certain crime victims. Something I do want to draw your attention to as far as, scope of duties. If you look at the end notes of many of these statutes, say on that page 3, the general requirements or the general rights of victims, at the very end, you'll see the end notes, the legislative history on there, and you'll see the legislature's been touching this thing just about every session. I believe they're on the general, in 2025, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 5 changes to it in 2025 session alone. I don't think I probably need to talk to you guys about unfunded mandates. Y'all have dealt with these. And it seems that the legislature is intent on continually, and I think appropriately so, protecting the rights of crime victims. But that continually puts additional duties on the agencies that have to comply with these mandates. I'll give you a few numbers, and listen, when we start talking about crime stats, unless y'all want to schedule a separate meeting to hear Tom Dillard rant about all the ways that we can count crime and analyze it statistically, we could go on and on for a while. But when I start looking year over year, and I just went, July of last year to present day, and then I did the same for the year before and the same the year before, on all categories of offenses that would qualify for victims assistance under Chapter 56A. I find that we are knocking down between, going all the way back to 2020, we're knocking down between 19 and 23 cases per month. So, every day, every working day for a crime victim liaison is a in general, a Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 job. So every working day, there's a new case landing on the desk. That is cases. That is not numbers of victims. Some cases, I won't say most, but many have more than one victim. And in some cases, take, for example, with a child victim with divorced parents, now you've got a victim and 2 guardians that you may be juggling with all of the phone calls and all of the notifications therein. Addition to that, The things that we have been kind of underperforming on are those things that the grants did not cover for us. Death calls, death investigations, 5 or 6 of those a month. Among those are some actual suicides where that's not a crime. And so our crime victim liaison under grant funding was very limited in what she could do for those folks. Major accidents, and I'm not talking about any fender benders here. Captain Clark will come up and tell you we don't have little wrecks here in Burnett County. Y'all see what happens. Commissioners, y'all see what happens out there. A fair number of those turn into fatalities. Again, not crimes necessarily. Occasionally there is a crime behind one of those. About 20 a month on those. And then suicidal subjects, some of whom, fortunately, most of them are handled by Captain Sorensen's mental health unit. But when we do have the successful suicide in there, there are people left behind that under a strict grant-funded crime victim liaison, we're not able to do a whole lot for. Toward the back of your packet, you'll find the current job description. It talks about the grant funding, which I can't say we're hoping to get away from. We don't have much choice but to get away from at this point. And our previous crime victim liaison, Terry Randolph, prepared the bar graph you see there. Under the grant funding, we were also doing some assist other agency when they had big cases, major cases. Terry would give them what assistance she could. Problem we have at the moment is that Ms. Randolph, due to family circumstance and things, she resigned and has moved out of the area. And we are having a difficult time filling this position because right now we can't promise anybody a job beyond September when the grant money runs out. And so here I am, here to beg for some money. So I've been droning on for a few minutes. Any
it's
questions?
the total impact, 800, 77, 800, is that the total?
It's basically,
Yes.
VCLG clerk is the same thing we're talking about as a victim liaison?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, so
So
77.
it was previously, it was previously in the book at a 80-20. And on the back of my budget submission, I wanted to make sure that we included it and called it a BCSO victim liaison rather than one of the other terms that limited the type of work that we can do.
So that's what, when I was working on this, so we have the grant-funded position now that pays around 30, does it pay around 38,000, or is that just the Burnett County share of the, that's probably the Burnett County share.
Burnett County share.
Okay, of the 80-20 mix, okay. And so the 55 is that a reclass, or is that?
And yes, it's in order to, that position had always been a lower class than all of our other law enforcement specialist positions, like our records,
So
our evidence, our.
This is what we're asking for in the
That's
code that
correct.
Tom just gave us, the 58.
That's
So
correct.
from whatever it is, 55, 56, whatever, we're asking to go 58.
That's
Okay.
correct.
I was trying to figure out, it looked like it was a reclass or a new position, so it's kind of a new position because we're going to have to put it over into 100, correct?
That's
I mean,
correct.
We don't want to leave it here.
That's correct. It would need to be in
We wanna
the
move it
SO
over to
budget.
100.
That's correct.
Okay, and then if we decide to fund it, again, it's statutorily required, so that's the important key here. And thank you very much for distinguishing, because the first thing in my mind was, well, I got these already in the district attorney's office and whatever, so thank you for clarifying that. So and now this person's going to be free to do all cases.
That's correct.
Because they're funded by the, okay. And then, okay, so the.
And ultimately,
so
it's picking up
it is a new-
20%. It is a new
It is a
position.
new position in the Fund 100.
Yes, sir.
I get that. And then this is what this this is what you need to operate that office in addition.
Yeah, our all-in is the 55.
The reason there's no operating supplies is because it'd be over in the sheriff's
100.
office. There's no travel training. It's not because we don't want to travel and train them.
That's
We're just
correct. It goes
going to
into the
manage them
other
within the sheriff's office budget. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. Thank you for clarifying all that. So,
Gentlemen, anything?
Good.
All right.
okay.
Can we have 5 minutes?
Just
Yeah, let's take
second that.
yeah, it's 10:35. We're going to take, say, about a 10-minute break, or about 10 minutes. So if we come back early, then we'll
3. Did you pack your lunch? Got your,
No, and I didn't even eat breakfast this
you
morning.
got your backpack, your sippy drink, and your snacks?
I needed
Not going to be here that long, guys. We're through the worst, most of the biggest part.
Fix that, I think, what, constables?
I don't know about the libraries, we'll see.
Everybody likes to hear that.
Okay. Okay, time is now 10:44. We're ready to go back. I think we're back on page. This is the reclasses.
That's correct. We got 2 reclasses to discuss.
This is back on page 3?
2?
2. Yep, 2. Thank you.
On the first one will be a request to reclass our receptionist to administrative assistant position, and I'm going to have Captain Sorensen provide that information.
Mike Sorensen, Burnett County Sheriff's Office. If any of you have ever been to our office, you have met Lori up there at our front desk when you come in. She's the one that signs you in, opens the door, lets you come in, signs you in, and checks everything's going on. That position is much more than just a receptionist nowadays. That position handles documenting citations currently. She enters stuff in the Brazos. She enters calls coming in from the public. Fire calls, burn calls, when people call in for burns, they wear her out. She thanks you when there's a burn ban. She's not near as busy up there on that front desk. She does have certain people that she knows regularly that call in almost every week. So we're asking to reclassify her from a 58 to a 60. And along with those things that I just mentioned, she also puts all of our documentation together for the admin. Excuse me. When I have training classes, she'll make our booklets like you have been given already today. She'll make all the booklets for us. She made these. Prepares our classrooms, gets everything ready in there, makes training material. Endless days of the week. Our maps for the schools that we have, for all of our officers in our cars, she makes everything for us. So she does more than just answer a phone. So we're trying to reclassify her from a 58 to a 60. And again, she keeps the till for incoming currency, does all the mail, obviously goes to the courthouse, picks up the mail, brings it back, distributes that, takes our mail from our office back to the mail room to be distributed as well. She's our notary public, and again, a lot of clerical assistance within the office from the sheriff, the chief, myself, other captains. My training sergeant goes to her. Sometimes IT sergeant goes to her, Josh. So, she's kind of like the hub for a lot of things that we have there. So we'd like to be able to reclass that position to what she's actually doing today.
And that 5782 is not in the total, right? That's what the notation says here?
That's an
On
add
the dollar value.
or an increase in pay?
So if you look at the column for 377, 614, and then the 399 is what was the current budget carried over. So the 2 additional items needed to be added into that. I was trying, it may not have been the best way to do it, but I was trying to reflect what 27 was, and then what the actual for 26, actual 26, and then what the 27 would be with the raises that you and I were talking about. And then I left those in there as distinct items. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So the 10,000,
Yeah, that's me, we talked about it.
right.
So
okay.
she was a group 58 step 8? Or what step was she at?
I don't know what's
I don't
And
know
then she's
what
moving
step-
to
I
a
don't know.
60 step.
It's an equal step within the group.
Within her pay group, within her pay range now.
So
If she's at a 3, she would go to step 3, she would go to, from a 58, step 3 to 60, step 3.
and the
But I
pay
think-
stays about the same?
I'm sorry?
No,
Or it's going to increase that 5782?
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what you
Yes.
gave me.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the difference.
But the total between the 2 positions, nearly 16,000, that is not reflected in the total.
That's correct.
Okay.
Again, that was my decision to how to reflect the budget so you could see what the actual increase in existing wages was going to be. And then you could add the two items to that for the total. It was about display, making sense to have a display.
Is that, any other questions on that position, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm good with those positions.
Those-
If the-
Both?
If the
Because
income
I'm about to
side
discuss
of
the
it
other
will-
one, so if
will
that's,
Support it.
The business manager to the administrative director?
that's correct. That's Donna's position, and one of the reasons Lori is busy is because Donna's busy working. Donna is my direct and the sheriff's direct assistant. And so this is year number 4 to me come and ask that her position be reclassified from a 65 to pay group 69. And in that step, with her title as Sheriff's Office Administrative Director instead of the current position.
And that's with a 10,000.
That's correct. 10,046.40. Any questions? We're getting close.
Okay.
What are, I guess, are you going to take all these into consideration and just?
Yeah, so-
and then we'll go over it on the final day?
That's what, I don't know if we'll do it on the final day,
Or
but near the final.
somewhere in there, near the
Right,
final
so
day.
what I was going to start doing is unless I heard protest or,
You're gonna go ahead
objections,
and add these in.
I'm going to create a list of all the things, so when we get, so we got, Friday, the appraisal district issued our numbers, and so, but I haven't had time to finish calculating everything. So what I'll have is a list of our budget as carried over from 27. I'll have another column in the next week or two where I'll start showing you all the things that are being asked for to increase. So like, for instance,
Then we'll be able to see if we can
you-
afford it or not.
right, we'll start making choices about, whether it's additional hands in road and bridge, or if it's reclasses at either level. I'll be working on trying to get so we'll have this list, and then we can start, or at least that's my plan, right, at this point, is having this list of, okay, well, here's our revenues, how much do we want to cover with this?
And we cut 650 out of our budget from last year.
$650?
650,000.
50,000.
Put a couple extra zeros back there, and we're in good shape.
Okay,
Last two. The next one is handheld radios. As an equipment purchase, they're expensive. They are $13,158.71 apiece.
and
If you're-
do you have the code real quick, the number? Is that the
account number?
5760 you talked about earlier?
Uh,
I think it is, the $14,000?
$14,000.
How much was the new radios? And anyway.
The new radios are, for 50 of them, would be $657,935.50.
Okay.
Are those
So-
8,500s, or are they?
I'm sorry?
Are those 8,500s, or what?
They are the
8800.
10, the APX Next. Come on up, Josh. So one of the things that we learned from these radios also is from the flood, we talked about inoperability, and one of the worst things that we had was not being able to talk to each other via cell phone and be able to talk to each other via handheld radio. And we had already previously, in last year's request, if you recall, we purchased 10 of these radios. And those were for courts, because our guys in the courts couldn't get out, couldn't speak outside the building. They'd have to go outside the building in order to talk to anybody. So those are working as planned. Those radios grab, whether it's the internet or grab the cell phone, they'll grab one of the two, whichever is the most powerful signal. So we put this on here, and part of our after-action review from the flood was that we had our foresight was to improve our inoperability by radios and by text, by the way, and not on this budget, but on a totally different level. These radios, what they said was that we recognized that there was, before the flood, we recognized that there was an issue with our inoperability throughout the county. and said that that was one of the things that we needed to sustain, is that we are taking a forward-leaning movement on making sure that we don't have that problem again. And so that's why we're, one, asking for these radios.
Hang on just a sec, Chief.
What page is
Where are
that?
we at? I don't see a
What-
$600,000
Do you have
on here.
an account number of where this is going? 'Cause I don't-
I've got what
don't
I
see
sent
one.
in on my report.
Okay. I don't have that with me. I loaded up everything into this budget that I could find, that parallel to.
Oh, that's not showing up in here?
I don't know. So you're saying it was,
The funding, the funding source on this, I was asking that we do from the fund balance, is what the direction was to ask for this.
okay.
A
So
one-time equipment
it didn't-
purchase.
It didn't have a line item?
It did not. It was at the very end of my submission, of
Okay.
the paperwork that I
All right,
submitted.
then I missed it altogether, so, okay. So a few minutes ago, or a little
650's back.
while ago,
That's added.
I just said that 650, you talking about cutting is back now.
It's back.
yeah, so-
But if it's a fund balance purchase and doesn't hit this budget.
Okay, yeah, it actually does. But the 156, well, earlier today, a few minutes ago, a little while ago, you talked about two radios that were tied to
No,
100,
Those are
5,600, 57.
those are vehicles,
60.
though. Vehicle, radios for the vehicle.
Okay, those were, the 14,000 was vehicle radios.
Yes, sir, those go with the two going out to the
Just so I get it on the record, would you say your name and,
It's Josh Swain, Sheriff's Office.
I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
I just, people can't see that.
And how many radios was that?
50. Last year, we got 10.
Times how many? How much, excuse me? 50 times,
And the total was 650 roughly?
The 13,100 change.
Right, yeah, and we did submit
so about 14,000 each?
they are $13,158.71 per radio.
As of right now.
Yeah, and this is, prices change. So the total amount was $657,935.50. And I did submit an equipment and technology budget request form with my budget,
Just,
and ask that they come out of fund balance.
I want to ask one more technical question about it, Josh, if I could, real quick.
you said technical?
Yeah, you dove out of the way, yeah, yeah.
This is the actual radio.
I'm just wondering,
Court Security's currently
so
using.
the situation is, when you go, I know that the schools battled this as well. So if you walk into the school district with one of those, how does it affiliate with the Wi-Fi? Do you have to put in a password or?
So that's the genius of the radios. It's a tri-band, if you want to call it that. It uses radio frequency, the VHF we use, or you can program, I think, up to 10 different Wi-Fis. So we have the BC staff currently in it. As it goes in and out of any of the buildings, no password, it already is loaded in there. So the schools would be loaded in, as they would allow us to. We have to ask permission. But we could walk into the schools, Seton Highland Lakes, if they were willing to do something like that. We could get some MOUs going with some of these other agencies. And so as you walk in, that radio is scanning in the background, looking, is radio frequency better? Is LTE better? Or is the Wi-Fi better? And it's going to make those choices in the background. You just simply key up and talk.
And will that be the same thing for like HEB? I know that's
If
another
HEB's willing to
big,
give us access into their Wi-Fi, yes, sir.
okay.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be seeing anything on their network. It's simply a pass-through. So it just goes, grabs the Wi-Fi and it talks out, and then it brings the radio frequency back in through that. So we understand in the county, we have some gaps, and we're trying to address some of those gaps. And that is, VHF doesn't bounce down into holes very well. Cellular gets a little better, it bounces out. Cellular gets a little better, but we understand there are still gonna be some gaps in the county, but we're trying to do the best that we can until we can have that one day, the satellite radio, that's just talking to Starlink or whatever it's doing, which I'm sure is down the road somewhere. But this is the next best option we can find. We understand it's expensive. We know that. Everything Motorola, everything radio, police, fire, they add an extra 30, 40% to. What this does is it gives our deputies in the field the best shot of being able to communicate out and in during all events, is what we're looking at. And inside the building.
That's my next question. With the constables coming up.
I would
how does
order those same radios for the constables. And we could get them programmed the same way as they're coming in and out of the buildings, because they have the same problem in their court buildings that our court security guys have.
Well, in the same areas
Yes,
in
sir.
the county as well.
Yeah. for
What
sure.
about the ESDs?
There are some, Spicewood, I believe, has already started transitioning, so the fire departments are transitioning to these style radios as well.
And this is the next, is that right?
It's the next radio, yes, sir.
APX Next Portable Radio.
What's your plan with gaining access to all these different places? How are you going about, the HEB,
Well, we haven't had a big
Walmart?
worry about it because we don't have any of those radios other than the court security guys. We own ours, so we can get into that. If this would be approved, that would be the next step. Reach out to them, start talking to them, see if the schools, we've got a pretty good relationship with the school districts already. We meet with them twice a year. Captain Clark builds a lot of relationships with the IT guys. I don't think that'll be much of an issue getting in with them. Because we're not getting data. We're not accessing in behind their firewalls. This is simply just internet out. Like we have a guest network that's getting stood up by our IT guys. That's what we'd be working on.
I understand that process. It's the process of being able to access Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, those type of businesses. Do you have a plan to go out and contact those people? And
No, sir.
have you already got into that?
Don't have a plan on it, but the plan would be to just go out and reach out and talk to their managers and ask if that's something they're willing to allow us access to. That's a down the road to get the radios first, because we gotta solve our problems in the county, which are a lot, just the dead zones we have. You go on 183 up in Damon's area, and almost that whole thing's a handheld dead zone.
How does that work if you're on 183, and what is it picking up? If you're on the road, you've
So the
got
great thing about these
cell.
radios, I took one of these to Dallas. Anybody know where Dallas Cowboys practice, the Ford Stadium in Frisco? Stood in front of that and talked to dispatch on the radio. The LTE extends our coverage. You no longer are bound to the Western Regional towers themselves. When it goes over the LTE, anywhere the LTE works, so you can be
Gotcha.
Washington State, you can be anywhere. So that's what it does. It grabs the cellular like your phone would.
Number one issue with all these type of events, floods, school shootings, is we can't talk to each other. Our radios don't work because of all the concrete cinder block. And so inoperability is a huge issue in all first responder issue. And so this is just one of the abilities for us to solve the problem with the one-year purchase.
So to answer the question about the ESDs, East Lake Buchanan Volunteer Fire Department went to the next level radios. So if we pull up, in our area, you don't have coverage anywhere. But if we pull up to an area we don't have coverage, if a command vehicle pulls up and it has the Starlink in it, all of those radios are now running off of the Starlink. So you get perfect communication with them.
Which is also part of our budget this year, is the Starlinks. Just a request.
All right, good.
And just for the record, these are you can expect about a 10-year lifespan out of these. So it's $13,000, spread out over a 10-year.
Until they decide they're not going to support them anymore.
You know Motorola all too well.
All right, thank you.
All right, last topic is, Josh, don't go anywhere, is also was in the submission for equipment and technology, was to migrate our entire system from the current server system that we have to Motorola Cloud Migration Cloud Server. This is being asked, I'm asking that this come out of, to be rolled over from this year's budget, lapsed salary and benefits into next year. I'll kind of explain how to track this. And I'll get you one. So I want to explain the source first. If you take the last page in there, you should have 3 pages. The last page is just the front page of my last expenditure report that I receive weekly. So the date on the bottom is 7/21. If you take the fiscal activity, and let's just use the elected official for sheriff, you take that $87,097.15. That is what has been spent to date as of 7/21. There are 26 payrolls in our fiscal year. That number is that's 21 payrolls. So we have 21 data points that created that 87,097.15. If you take that number and divide it by 21, the number of payrolls, you comes up with the 4,147.48. The next column over on C, the amount needed to, how much do we need to finish this year for the sheriff? Well, you take that 4,147.48, and we have 5 payrolls left. You multiply that out, and it's 20,737.42. If you look at back on the expense report on the budget remaining for the sheriff's position, we have 24,455.89 remaining in his budget. Of that, we only needed 20,000, so we have a lapse of 3,718.47. If you do that with every position in the sheriff's office, that's page 1, sheriff's office, totals for just payroll is $763,384.32 in lapsed salaries. Then you take certificate overtime and dispatch overtime, and it's a negative 5,000. That's a cleanup that we've been doing through the year, as the year has progressed, and I will do another cleanup on that to make those all, take the red out and make it black again. And then on the benefits, do the same procedure. The 21 payrolls, multiply what that number is by the 5 payrolls remaining, and that gives you your amount needed for the rest of the year. Again, we have 21 data points to date. So the number's going to change minimally. It's not going to change significantly. So just in benefits, $458,242.73 of overage in benefits, for a SO grand total of $1,116,290.73. If you go to page 2 page 2, it's got the jail and the courts, and I'm just going to give you the big numbers for the jail. Lapse salaries, benefits, and certificate and overtime, we are turning back in $696,447.40, and for the courts, $126,945,000, giving you a grand total for the sheriff's office, jail, and the courts of $2,039,683.13. Again, that's just the quick math on the reports that I get on a weekly basis. And so I'm asking that this next product, if we can roll over, I believe the total is 907,747.46 of rollover to cover, and that can come strictly out of the sheriff's portion of it, not the jail, not the courts, to be able to fund that cloud server. And I'm going to let Josh explain. Actually, while that's a large number, a lot of that number is actually saved in current services that we have that this eliminates.
So what is the number? I don't see it on.
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
So,
yeah, it was the budget request form showed 907,747.46. And that is a 5-year program, 5-year warranty. So if you do it obviously by a year, you're going to be.
So this next is a server, that's a cloud
It's the
server? So it's a, well, I want to clarify this before.
I'm going to allow him to.
So, but it's a service, a cloud service?
There's physical equipment and there's a cloud service involved.
Physical equipment located here?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Well, I mean, it's really important, because under state purchasing law, I really need to nail this down before you get into the details, usually when you buy cloud, you're buying service. So, and there's a whole set of state laws under Chapter 262 that affect services and how they're budgeted from year to year, okay? As opposed to buying a piece of equipment to say, that, and there's a whole set of statutes on how we budget and how we authorize that. So that's what I'm trying to nail down. Is this a cloud service like Rackspace?
So it's currently what some of the Missy's doing, where her body camera and her in-car camera system upload instead of to a local server. That's how we currently do it. We have a local server at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
It goes straight to the cloud.
Okay.
And in order to do that, there is some necessary hardware that comes along with that.
Got it.
If
Okay.
that makes
But
facilitates,
you're not actually buying the hardware.
So that's where when I answered yes
Yeah,
and no.
okay.
We are buying the service, which is the cloud so it's a cloud migration. We're taking what we have now
Okay.
and migrating to the cloud, and then October on, everything will be loaded into the cloud, if that makes sense.
So,
Can you explain the issue of also our, so we have two servers? One of them's full, the other one will be full within the next
Sure.
several months. And so
That's the problem. We currently have the older Motorola server called the EL4, and then we have the EL5, which is the brand new, I say brand new, it's 23 is when we got that new server. The old server filled up, a new server was purchased, it came in, we started uploading to it. Motorola decided that they are getting out of the server game, the physical server game, and going cloud-based. Not just Motorola, but almost every big player in the field is doing the same thing.
hence, we have data centers everywhere.
Exactly, yes, sir. So with that, poses a little bit of a problem. We're at 80% full on our server right now. So we're getting ready about every 4 to 5 years. We did it in 2017, and then we did it again in 23. So about every 4 to 5 years, we're filling up 150 terabytes worth of video. Now, we do have retention rules that the laws provide, and we can kick some things off. But as a whole, that's about what we're carrying every year, or every 4 or 5 years. So we've got notified by Motorola as we were looking at, what do? We're going to expand our server, we're going to go to the cloud. They no longer sell it, they no longer service it. Ours crashed a few months ago. We feared we may have lost 3 years worth of video. Luckily, we did not. We were able to buy a piece and service it ourselves because they refused to touch it. I'm not sure how much more grace we're going to have, or luck we'll have at that point. So the fix to that is migrating our service to a cloud. Constable Benzile already does that. Anybody else? I think the guys are working on it, but she's the only one. So we have to change our vehicles, how they're configured a little bit. We already have Motorola systems in most of them. There's probably 15 or 17 that have to be upgraded to a newer version of the in-car camera system that's capable of wireless upload. Each one will get a Cradle Point, which is a nice, robust internet service to upload all that data. Then we're getting the service. So we buy the cloud service, which is unlimited service in the cloud. We can upload as much as we want into it. Captain Clark hit earlier on those phones. One of the features with this upgrade is the phones now can upload those pictures directly into the same software where our videos live. Easier evidence management. So when you look over the 5 years, it's a system. It's a package, right? So our body cameras, we get a refresh anywhere in that 2.5 years. We tell them go ahead and refresh it. They send us all new body cameras. The warranties through the whole 5 years, we're not buying anything else. There's no additional, unless we add vehicles, new vehicles to the fleet, then we have to think about the added cost for the next 4 years or 3 years or 2 years, whatever that life cycle of this 5 years still
So
is.
is the 907, is that the 5-year cost?
That's
Or is that just
it's actually awful. We added 2 more cars to it.
That's okay, but I mean.
So anyways, that's a
Sorry.
one-time 5-year cost. There's nothing else. No, we do need to look year 3 or 4 at what that, once 5 expires, what we're going to be looking at again. The 6-year would look
So,
again.
Again, this kind of goes back in 262. So is that 907 an upfront payment that they're expecting? Or does the contract allow for $200,000 a year over the $500,000?
How you pay it is out of my realm, but
Okay.
yes, they do.
I mean, have we seen a proposal where it shows, like, we just.
I sent all that with my.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The total.
So they break it down over 5 years. They have different options of how you would like to address
Yeah,
paying it.
I was looking at the budget, and then when I found something in the budget, I went and looked at your materials, but although I did read all the materials, I missed this because I just thought it would be in the budget. Okay, so that's one thing we got to work out under 262 is what the proposal is. So I'll go look at that and figure out.
So you do have a copy of that, yes, sir?
Yeah, he sent it to me. Again, I was working, 3 or 4 pages looking at material, but I was focused mostly on this physical
Yeah.
budget.
And then we threw $907,000 proposal at you. So this takes, what it does is we get this assurity and the security of the cloud. We're no longer holding a physical server here that's on the edge of collapsing. Inside this is migrating that physical video into the cloud and maintaining what we have currently in the cloud as well. So we're not worried about our server crashing and we losing that.
Will you be able to take the existing servers and back them up into that cloud space?
Yes, sir. Well, we have 2 servers. We've
I think
included the
you said 2
newest one.
servers.
Yeah, the newest one is going to get migrated into the cloud. The older one, we're working with Greg, and we're going to do an archive of it. It's not one we work with very often. We don't want to spend the money to maintain that accessibility every day. But the newer one, yes, sir. That's part of it.
All right, so we'll have to work on this the way this works, because if it's a service, we can, just like what we did
So-
with the 2.7 million Motorola the other day, you can't do a service the same way you do it.
Exactly. Just to point out real quick before we get out of it. So that's what we're doing. We're solving the issue of our storage and our dying server by going to the cloud, eliminating the need here on the ground. We have no cybersecurity risk anymore. The Amazon cloud takes it. It's all stored in different ones, how they work on the fancy little, data centers back and forth. We currently pay about $30,000 in licensing fees. So when you look at a 5-year, it's $150,000 we're paying to Motorola to stay on our own server. We own the server, but we pay them for our in-cars and our body cameras. Every year, we spend $6,500 on a new camera system for these cars. And if we're buying, 8 to 10 cars, we're over that lifespan, we're spending about $300,000 over 5 years. The body cameras, we refresh every 2 years at $50,000. So that's another $100,000. So you're looking at about $500,000 we spend already for what we currently run. And so this is, we're asking for a few hundred more thousand, which includes the cradle points inside that, the upfit of 15, 17 different cars we have to get the new system in, and then the assurity of not having any issues with our server crashing, losing, having explained to the county attorney or the district attorney, and then to the citizens why we don't have their videos, and their cases are getting thrown out of court, and we're not doing any justice to them.
So, okay, great, thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions, commissioners? So, to Chief's point, while I don't think, again, I'll go back and look at the materials again. Like I said, I was focusing, moving between multiple pages, but the kind of what I did with the computers, we had lapse funding in this year that I wanted to buy computers. I would tell the commissioners now concerning the radios, again, I don't know the availability, there's a lot of things we don't know, but we could meet afterwards and propose at least, because I don't think the scenario you presented would work if it's actually a service. It would work for a single one-time purchase. But the.
You said the radios, or you're talking about the cloud?
You just did a presentation about your lapse funding that would be
right.
available for.
For the cloud service.
Yeah, just hang on just a minute, Constable. Just let me walk through this and then you can come on up.
Okay.
But this lapse funding that you're proposing for one-time purchases to consider an agenda item, again, we can't deliberate it here, but we could go ahead.
Gotcha.
And take the money we have available now, which we did last year. Remember, last year we bought some extra, we found out you had some lapse funding, we bought some extra cars. This would actually be a good strategy to go ahead and get the radios out of the way this year with lapse funding.
Right.
Because it just reduces next year's fund balance.
That's correct.
And then we could do a one-time purchase if they're, you need to check if they're available before we put this on a future commissioner's court. But anyway, that takes the radios out of the way. The service is a whole different enchilada.
We may have to look at paying over a few years.
Yeah, under 262, you can't prepay services off into the future. You can a little bit. There's some special rules around how products are sold and things like that. But one-time purchases, this strategy that you're talking about is exactly what we just got through talking about, why we're buying Toughbooks now and why we're buying
Yes, sir.
laptops and desktops now.
Yes, sir.
It's because I have these funds that can be used as long as they can be obtained between now and September 30th. Then we can get it and get that off
Right.
get it off future encumbrances. Does that make sense?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
So it's good work on this, identifying it and see what we can take out. So,
Okay. And so you and I will
Now-
visit.
all right, yeah, we'll get together.
All right.
I know, maybe Thursday or Friday.
Okay, yeah,
It looks like I'm booked solid
I'm open.
until then. Okay,
Any other questions? And we are done. I know it's a
Thank you.
surprise, but
all right, Constable, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have an estimate for that radio that includes 5 years of service.
Okay.
In the price.
All right, so we'll work on that, so. Okay. All right, so I got the numbers, so. Any other questions, commissioners? Ready to move on?
P,
I'm sorry?
we go developmental services.
Yeah, you want to go to developmental services upon request? All right,
Give me a
sorry.
page number.
It's number
Must be towards
22.
the back.
23, yeah. Page 23 of 23. Okay. I don't see anything here. The only additional cost or, and I'm not sure they're correct, but increase in cost, seems like there's something wrong there. I might have to go
Well,
back.
longevity was, how did it go down?
Well, some of these went down because of they were posted incorrectly in last year, so. So, Herb, you got 911 database, which is a grant-funded position, or CAPCOG-funded position. I don't know if it's grants, but it's definitely CAPCOG. And then you have your departmental service. And
Yes,
the only-
sir.
And the only thing really we cleaned up this year was making sure you had budget categories for everything, and then no real additional cost. Wasn't there some software or something?
There was, we're going to move it out of the development services budget to the CAPCOG budget because it's basically the ESRI licensing and support.
Okay, all right.
That, does this CAPCOG support staff member reflect the increase that I sent to you from CAPCOG?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It would.
I'm not sure this budget, I don't know that I got it on
That-
here correctly, so I see that it's the
It's
same as
close.
last year, so I need to work on that.
Yeah, I believe it's an $1,100 difference.
Okay, all right. I don't think, when I pulled it in from the auditor's office, I guess she didn't know it or whatever, because I'm copying over the same number from last year, so I need to work on that.
Yeah, I sent that to her, but I can't remember what it was.
All right. Okay, that's all for this one. Anybody have any questions?
That's it?
Thank you.
You can put a fishing boat or something like that in there?
Margarita machine, but we got it here.
All right. Constable Precinct 1. Do y'all want to, how do y'all want to do, y'all want to do this together, or?
They seem different.
Okay, they seem different. Okay, so you've got a full-time deputy, and so.
Yes.
And so the changes reflect, the 92,000 reflect the additional
Yes,
cost, and then same with the 67, went up about 4,000.
yes.
The auditor has provided, so we start on 3,300 operating supplies. Anything you want to tell us about the rest of this? Oh, you have a discussion on vehicle?
Yeah, I have the discussion on the vehicle
Okay,
because the Tahoe that Mike is driving right now has over 150,000 miles on it.
okay,
And seems like we're taking it to the shop, but like every 3 weeks, and every time it goes in there, it's costing me between $700 and $800. So I think that one, it's time to replace it and put him in a new one, especially with that many miles on it.
Why is it so high?
So
Yeah, it's her.
are we talking about?
Well, I'm just talking
mileage
about
or
the price over here, the
So
140K.
That's, no, it's $100,000 on this,
it's 100 for the,
100,000
you see
because
the small print on the 100,000 on the Tahoe, 10,000 on the CAD system upgrades.
so it
two
got
for
separated
protective
out on
vests.
the next lines.
Oh, okay, down there at the bottom. All right, I
Yeah.
got you. All right, that's all with it, okay.
Yeah. So that was all together for machinery, but it got separated out on those next 1, 2, 3, 4 lines.
I got you.
So now you know why the mileage was high and why the price.
It's also 11 or 12 years old.
It's a 2015, yeah.
Next month.
Okay. All right. Any questions on this, Commissioners? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is that it?
All right.
Well, which one are you gonna, because then you had on yours, county judge proposed 40K.
Yeah, I just said that I was proposing, but I can put the whole thing, I was really going to put the whole thing on
Okay.
the wish list, okay? So, sorry, I just It was late, so.
No worries.
All right. All right, so,
Gary Adams, Constable 2, and Scott Davis, Precinct 3.
all right. So this is 13 and 14 pages. Yeah, you want to go ahead and start?
Yes, sir. I was seeking a deputy from my office as well, along with all the perks that goes with that. Scott has them all itemized on his portion.
I think I've got them reflected here in the budget in
Yes,
your
sir.
lines.
How many deputy constables do we have now?
One for all four constables.
So,
But
and how many
it's
are we,
assigned
how many
in-
are we wanting total?
3? Okay, so 2. Yeah, we're wanting a 2.
Two more.
So y'all are wanting,
Add 2.
One for
One-
him, one for me.
Right,
so 2 new ones.
yes.
And the vehicle that goes with it should be, the cost should be just in line with the sheriff's office. We don't do
And
anything.
that's
And
at
equipment.
143, 325,
One what?
140.
143, 325.
So I did mine a little different.
Okay.
The vehicle with upfitting was 80, and then 36,000 for body camera, handheld.
Okay.
In-car radio.
So when you look at the 120 in your proposal, it's actually not just the vehicle and it's not a, it's a
Right.
vehicle and upfit. It's including the radio, the camera.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
and the cell phone, okay?
Yes.
So, okay. So 120 is not the same. That's different.
Also, the mandate that we should have a breaching tool and ballistic shield that the state threw on us last year. That's included in that 120
That's the
as well.
machine, oh, also in that 120?
That would be in part
I
of the
see.
vehicle,
Okay,
yes,
all
sir.
right, all right.
Y'all have one, right?
The only other
Y'all have one
difference
sealed
is,
in each car?
we are going to ask again that you guys consider making our pay equivalent with JP's. I did look at your salary survey, the most recent. It's not really complete because 111 counties did not even give us information.
Okay.
But of the 143, over 52 examples of where constables make at least or more than a JP. We're not asking to make more,
Equivalent.
but equivalent, yes. As far as the numbers on my budget, it's almost like you have to do two, because if I don't get a position, obviously, these are the numbers. If I do, then I would have to increase uniform budget, training budget, gasoline budget. Does that make sense?
Yes, so like, for instance, on operating supplies, you're at $1,500 now, and so the 3,000 would reflect the.
Exactly.
Right.
With a
Yeah.
With a deputy.
Professional services, you're at 4,000 now, the reflection of $6,000 would be already built into this budget. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Currently, I have a cell phone. I would want a second cell phone for that position, the additional position.
I see that.
Travel mileage, that's not showing here, although I did put it. It's confusing because I basically did two separate budgets.
Yeah, well, I might have grabbed the wrong one.
That's okay.
Okay, I understand.
This 95 that's here, I don't know where I came up with that. All I'm asking is that we are paid equivalent to JP.
I've got that in the notes here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioners?
Just a side note, the JPs, where are they at? And then they get is that the same
Yeah,
as them
we would
including
not
their
include-
vehicle stipend, or?
No, not including the 6,000. I think they get 6,000 a year. We get a vehicle, a take-home vehicle. So whatever their salary is, minus.
Before
Unless
that.
they're
The core salary.
Yeah. It's not a lot difference, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, any questions?
Where did the deputy constable salary, where did that come from?
That's based on the deputy pay scale.
Okay.
And that's,
From the SO side?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the.
And what's not included on this that is on
Yeah.
on what I proposed.
What we do for
They would
the-
also get a certificate pay based on their certificate level.
Okay.
Is that LEOSE?
Leos is generated by
That's the
by the
state.
governors.
I know, but that's the certificate pay. Is that
No,
the
no,
same
no,
thing?
no.
That's
No,
different.
sheriff's office deputies and sergeants and, I guess, get a certificate pay based on their level of certification.
I understand. I'm just making note that it's not in here.
Leo's
Yeah.
funds is sent to us from the Attorney General's office or the governor's office every year.
And that's for training.
Yes.
We cut it off at the sergeant pay because they are, the lieutenant and above are exempt. So that's why we kept, because all of our guys have to hold their license.
Got it.
So we kept it just sergeant and above.
We don't get certificate pay either.
Yeah.
Well, see, the deputy in precinct 1, I don't see a certificate pay.
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not on there. That's why I need to make a note of it.
Okay.
So, all right. Is he getting certificate pay and just not,
I don't
not
believe so.
qualified? Do you know? Is he qualified to get it? Okay. All right. So we need to work on that before the year end. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Precinct 4? Precinct 4, you have anything, or?
I may be excused, I've got a.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no further questions? Thank you. So last year, you took care of a lot of the training. You had a lot of equipment for
I
the
did, that-
training.
yeah,
You
yes,
still
sir.
have, that's still valid, or?
That's up to y'all. If y'all still want to do that training, we can do that
No,
training.
I'm just asking, the equipment we bought last year is still operational? and
I gave
everything?
12 AEDs to the sheriff's office, and
We just got them like within the last couple of months.
yes.
great.
So I took the money that was intended for. So the students we had go through the TECC course, I did buy them the real-world IFAC kits.
Uh-huh.
I distributed those, and then the leftover funds, I bought them 12 AEDs, bought the auditor an AED,
Yeah,
and some others.
Thank you.
So used all that money.
great. So any changes or anything you want us to know about your budget?
No, on
Okay.
the professional services, the reason why mine is higher than everybody else's is all these subscriptions that, the sheriff's office brought up about the cloud-based stuff. Everything's just expensive now,
Okay.
so,
All right.
but that's why mine's a little bit different. I'm not asking for anything really extra this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just cover, Department of Public Safety is really pretty much the same budget with the different increases. She asked for $500 more in operating supplies, just for office management, that there's really no other changes. She's grateful for us, the support that we provide her 8 officers that are assigned full-time to this county, and unless anybody has a question, that's all we need to do on DPS. Okay, library system, how do you want to proceed, Dan?
I'll let the ladies open it up, and then we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Page number
17.
17.
Well, thank you for our opportunity to present our budget. With our worksheets, we also presented a report on how we were doing, and I hope you had a chance to look over that. It's actually a reflection of the last couple of years. Our circulation has gone up and program attendance. I'd like to highlight the fact that last fiscal year, we welcomed over 128,000 patrons and visitors into the library, and we're circulated over 300,000 items. We host a variety of programs and events and have excellent community participation. And we're especially known for our strong children's programs, so year-long early childhood literacy programs, summer reading programs, and there's a lot of fun pictures in our report. Just day in, day out business, we are helping our residents access information, books, technology that they might not otherwise have access to. And so our budget request reflects a careful consideration of our growing needs. And a budgeting priority this year is going to be support staff. Just looking at last month, June was a very busy month, 15,000 visitors. And so that is a lot that is put onto our staff, and they're the backbone of our library system. I can't go into HEB without someone stopping me and telling me, thank you for your staff. They're so kind. They helped me with this. And I think we all have a story like that. And so we're asking for some additional staff hours. This is going to help us support the growing needs of our community, and it's going to help prevent some employee burnout that is just common with customer service these days. It's also going to promote safety in our buildings, for our community, and for our staff, and help build some flexibility into our schedules, some margin, because staff, they get sick. They need to have time off and take care of themselves as well. And so we need to be able to have some margin in our schedule so we can keep things operating smoothly. And so that is just a request we would really like you to take in consideration for the new fiscal year.
Can y'all state your names for the record?
Yes, Amanda Rose.
And Mary Seaman.
Thank you.
Do y'all have any questions? Anything we need to clarify? A lot of our technology needs is also just to kind of stay with the status quo. We support a lot of patrons with technology, printing, you name it. And so this is just to help keep our technology up to date. Some of our technology won't update at all, and so it's soon going to be disserviced, or it needs to be disserviced. So to kind of clarify a lot of that technology need that we requested.
So you're taking 2 part-times, moving them to full-time, that's part of your request, and then to increase part-time from 24 to 29 hours, and then also, it looks like to add a new part-time in Marble Falls up to 29 hours there. Is that correct?
So will the Spicewood Library then be open full-time? Is that what you're proposing?
That is what we're looking forward to.
Okay.
And so if we could get that.
I guess the part of your presentation and this, you said there was some like car burglaries in your parking lot, but I mean, it's kind of a remote location. So like what you were talking about safety, like if you're going to be open all the time, but then the only backup is your part-time positions, if somebody's sick or whatever, then you've got a person out there by themselves, or are there enough volunteers to make sure that...
We always have 2 people in the building at all times.
Okay.
Sometimes, yes, it is a volunteer that is supporting that staff person.
Okay, all right. But you make sure that there's always other people out there. Nobody's out there by themselves, okay?
Right. But 2 is not ideal. I mean, 2 keeps it safe, but we would love for the goal to be 3 people at all times in buildings, because we do have large buildings. We cover a lot of area. Just inputting that.
As far as priorities in the staffing, the Bertram Library definitely needs that full-time position first.
I hate to ask a question, but I don't want it to seem like this is a criticism, but I'm just like, so really, as far as facilities, there's no, mostly in this budget, you depend on the facilities to take care of the actual, I mean, like does the city of Marble Falls take care of your building? Is that the way it works?
Yes, the city of Marble Falls owns
And then
that building.
facilities I mean, the other 2 libraries are dependent on county facility.
Right,
property.
right. Herman Brown
Okay.
and Bertram.
All right.
Spicewood and Ocala are Friends supported.
Okay. And so they take care of the building and everything there?
They do. It can be a struggle, though.
Okay, understand. That's fine. Is there anything else, commissioners?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Will y'all clarify what won't be funded? I know in your proposal, there's a little bit of a gap of what wasn't approved, and I'm
Yeah.
just curious if we'll get clarification on what.
What we're going to do is just put everybody back at their regular amount with the increases.
Okay.
And then just put, excuse me, and then put a list of the
List, okay.
things that everybody else is asking for, and the commissioners are just going to have to sort through it.
Okay.
What I'm trying to make sure of is that I understand, just like
Mhm.
I was telling the chief a minute ago, I understand what the request is and whether it's doable within the structure. Like,
Okay.
so there's going to be nuance or a little bit of complicated things about what we can do in 1 year as opposed to multiple years, things like that.
Okay, we just want to know if we have the
Well, basically,
opportunity.
I guess when we go over it,
That-
then we'll go through, she'll come back and say, well, I'd rather have a full-time.
Yeah, understand.
Right, yeah,
Then-
just have the chance to
then an extra
prioritize.
part-time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
All right, thank
all
you.
right, well, thank y'all.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna, as much as I hate to on vet rides, I finally got my budget for the grant, but then the problem with vet rides is it also generates money on its own. So I'm gonna have to tease out this in another budget session, so I apologize. Here is the grant-funded budget. So on the behind page 19, so after 19, the next page, you should have the vet rides grant. But then there's also vet rides operational budget. In other words, so I'll just, sorry, I'd asked for this a week or so ago and didn't get it on time, so I'm just trying to figure it out. Area fire departments, so we now have a new ESD in Hoover Valley, so I put Hoover Valley down to the same as everybody else, Cottonwood Shores. This again is still on page 19.
Yeah, we need to do some checking on that before we budget that this year.
Oh, which
Whether-
one?
Whether to withhold
Cottonwood
the-
Shores, to find out if they have a viable
Oh,
fire
yeah.
department to be able to respond.
Okay,
So you're gonna have to give me a hot minute to check on that.
okay, so, all right. So remember, this is just money set aside for common education when they want to train folks and bring in an expert or something. So that's what the current use is, and we've then occasionally made budget adjustments to buy additional things that the fire departments need as a county. Health and welfare.
Back up on
Yes, sir, go ahead.
5430, and that may be something we need to look at is the usage of that fund.
Okay,
Go back and look and
sure.
maybe clarify what that fund can be used for the fire department.
Yeah.
I think there's been some discrepancies in the past,
Okay.
which is fine, but just
Yeah, yeah.
clarity on where it can go.
Okay. I know last year, the 2025, we bought some drones for Spicewood. They came in and requested the funds, and we did a budget transfer, and we spent most of the money buying a some sort of drone that would look in, that they could use for, and it's been deployed numerous times this year, they told me. And working with the sheriff's office and others is in Blanco. All right, so yes, Commissioner, we'll work on that. Health and, I know my pauper burial account has been stressed this year. There's a lot of people passing away and kinfolk not taking care of them, and so this falls back to the county to deal with their remains. I have denied a couple where I've discovered that they had property or there was assets available, but most of them I've had to pay. And see here
Kind of a
again-
morbid question, but is that do we bury them or cremate them?
Nowadays,
Okay.
we cremate them. We used to bury them, but the
I was
stuff,
going to say, that,
so, that's okay.
The most cost-effective way.
I mean, I hate to be cheap, but I'm going to be cremated, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend any more
It's all dust in the
on
wind.
myself, yeah.
So, okay.
Nobody comes see you anyway. Not you, Judge. Talking
I
about
would
us.
come
In-
see-
In general, nobody comes to see you when you're buried hardly.
And Indigent healthcare is kind of a static cost. I just went and rounded the numbers. I noticed Child Welfare Board, I don't know that, I can reach out and see if it, but most of these are crisis advocacy. These are dedicated funds, and what is that fund called again? Do you remember?
Child safety.
Child safety funds that come through the county. We don't generally pay all this money. Okay, page 21. The county auditor budget is within the 5% required by law. They're not asking for any additional resources beyond the COLA and steps that everybody else is getting. Any questions on that? County purchasing is just kind of a subcategory of county auditor, but it is a designated position. Okay, and then the administration of the indigent health care is a full-time position, and then some software that's required by law. Okay, and then we've already done developmental services. Any further questions? Okay, I call agenda item number 9, calendar review. Any discussion on calendar review?
We're keeping them all what we had?
I'm gonna, yeah, okay,
No
yeah.
changes.
Before I
We
call
had
it,
like the
I can-
5th, 6th of August, or we've got the one tomorrow, and then
Right. And then, do we have any other openings? I know Judge Henson couldn't be at the next meetings. Do we have any other potential openings that we could set for before the 15th?
he can't make 5 or 6,
He said he couldn't make 5 or 6.
or 13.
Well, I would sure hate to do that on the 13th, but
I mean, I'm open, after the 5th, I'm open, so.
Okay.
Or,
So,
You need to find out when he can meet, and
Well,
if you have
can
to
you-
call a special meeting, call a special meeting just to do that.
just tell me, is there a chance that either the 10th or the 10th or 11th, that we could have a meeting?
I could do the 10th in the morning.
I'm good.
What about the 11th?
We have Commissioners Court on the 11th,
Oh,
Yeah.
so you could do it immediately thereafter.
okay. Well, let's just do it on the Commissioners Court. That's
You
good.
can do it during court, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just shoot for the 11th. We don't have to put in another date. Okay. All right.
And we have our transportation public meetings are going to be August 6th from 3:30 to 5:30 right here in Burnett at this location. And then on August 13th from 3:30 to 5:30 at the First Baptist Church of Marble Falls.
Okay.
So encourage people to come, and we have some of the flyers in our office that you can disseminate, please, and also have electronic versions of it that you can send out.
Can you get it to the Ocala folks? I've got it. I saw that the Joppa folks already had it. So, okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
I'd make note for the record that Commissioner Luther stepped away for a moment, but it's been moved to adjourn
I'll second that.
by Commissioner Collier, second by Dockery. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed